Well, welcome in, everybody. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Lovely to be here with you on a Friday morning. There will be no guttural yell. I've not gotten to scream since I got back from England, and I miss it. I miss yelling into the microphone because I'm so excited that our San Diego Padres have ripped off, something cool. Lost this since I got back. Maybe I was the curse. Maybe I do need to go back to the UK and drink iceless water for every meal and, need a card to turn my lights on. But now they're not playing great right now. Fun game last night, honestly. I mean, if you weren't a fan of either team, and just watch that baseball, you'd be, oh, this was badass. Bunch of home runs and weird ass plays, and guys are sweating through the uniforms. It was actually a really fun game if you're not a Padres fan. But unfortunately, most of us are, and that's how that goes. But welcome in on a Friday. We've got a great show planned for you. I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl is our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you, Ben.
Good morning. You can't take away Friday from us. It is still Friday, no matter how our baseball team is faring in the standings.
Still Friday. Still feels good. Still feels great.
Did you know that when you were gone, I did give a guttural scream?
You did.
You had a really good
Monday.
one.
I would like to hear that at some point.
Give a pretty loud and visceral scream
good
on Monday after they had won that first series. Looked pretty good coming out of the All-Star break.
Warmest congratulations right now. We've got G. Whittet, 619er. He's in the delivery room waiting for his baby boy to come out. Said, let's go. Happy Friday and go Padres. He's got Ben and Woods on in the delivery room. Now, it's the second time in the last week or so we've been in the delivery room with someone when they're giving birth to their child. And I think that's really cool. And that makes me very happy. And it's very touching, to me that you would welcome us in there as your wife is about to give birth to your baby boy. And congratulations. Having a baby boy it's amazing.
We've both been in the delivery room for the birth of our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need any help coaching, we can breathe. Breathe.
I didn't do any
Push.
of that. Nope. No,
Push.
We had an emergency C-section.
Oh,
yeah. So there was I didn't have to. I mean, what I saw was I just felt bad for my wife. I didn't have to see the.
I stood kind of on the head side mostly. I didn't really want to.
I probably would have done the same.
I didn't really want to get the full view
of
my children
emerging
to the world. I was good to see them like 3 seconds later.
So you want to hear the guttural yell
let's hear it.
from Monday?
Should I do it, Paulie?
I think you have to.
Here we go.
Yeah!
That's pretty good, man. That's really good. That's
Not bad.
That's as good as mine, if not better.
But did I
say.
break the team by doing it?
No,
It
you
mixed
didn't.
things up. I don't know.
Didn't, man. You get excited when the team wins, and certainly felt like last night could have been one of those really, really special nights for the San Diego Padres. Just fell a little bit short. Dustin says, "I am here for the doom. Let's roll." Yeah, may get a little doom and gloom in here this morning after you drop 3 straight. Never a fun time, but again, we always try to keep it fun and light and. Just it's a Friday. Like, I don't want to come in here and be all bummed out on a Friday. We're going to try to have some fun. We got the skipper on today. We'll kind of see. That's always fun. See what kind of mood he's in.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
He always surprises us.
He
though.
does.
We
Well,
feel
maybe not
like
always,
he'll
but
be in a bad mood, and he's in a good mood.
I know. It's just it's always an interesting day. Obviously would rather interview him after a come from behind victory. But yeah, I mean, obviously need to ask him about Yu Darvish's performance last night. Broke my heart, man. Honestly, broke my heart in two. We're going to talk about all this at some point. We are going to talk about this today. We've got plenty of time to do it. But how was everyone's afternoon? I had my baseball camp for Bo. Bo just finished up. Today's his last day at Padres camp. And I got to tell you, even if I worked across the street, I would tell you, my son's at Padres camp, and it was awesome. And he had a great time. This isn't, I'm not shilling right now. I'm not bought off. He had a fantastic time at baseball camp this week.
That's good.
And has jumped out of bed every single day to go, and today's his last day. And he's won some awards and stuff like that. And they do contests, and they got some really good players there too. Bunch of different fields, a bunch of different instructors. So he's had a blast, man. In uniform, he loves the gear and the pins and the stuff they give him. So next year, if you're thinking about getting your kids in a camp, I recommend this one. It's been really good. Now I'll say it's toasty. They play on the turf. And so I go out and watch them every day at like 2:00 when they finish up. And I'm just sitting on the turf. They get those little black things all over, like the rubber,
the little rubber pellet
seeds, the little seeds, which are all over my house right now. They're scattered amongst my house. I found some in bed with me yesterday. But you sit on that turf and you're like, how are these kids doing it? I'm roasting. I feel like I'm in an oven. But he had such a great time. And all the little kids running around out there. He had a guy, Gavin. Gavin is a guy he met at camp that came up to him, a kid, came up to him yesterday. He goes, hey, is your dad Woods? Bo goes, yeah. He goes, me and my dad listened to him every single day. Bo's like, great. He's like, cool. I don't care. Like, so good. So shout out to Gavin and his dad who are listening, hopefully this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So he's had a great time. This dude gets out of camp today, comes home for about an hour, and then we go play our flag football championship tonight. Undefeated team against another undefeated team. They actually play for those little rings, so he's really fired up tonight.
Friday Night Lights ring.
Friday Night Lights ring. Oh my God, I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck about it already, and he's super excited. So it's fun, man. All good, and we'll figure it out, and then we're off to Hawaii on Monday.
I want to at least thank our lucky stars here. You mentioned it was very hot on the turf, but we can't really complain in San Diego about the heat right now.
No.
When you look at what the temperatures are like in the rest of the country, I heard Jesse and Tony talking about how really uncomfortable it was last night in St. Louis. Temperatures in the mid to high 90s with a lot of humidity. And
bro, honestly, that was not a quick, smooth game either.
No.
But the forecast for today, St. Louis is about the same, but like it's supposed to be 105 in New York City, 109 in Washington, D.C. The East Coast it's absolutely brutal. Philly, like 104. I mean, can you imagine? We were there when it was 80, and we were thinking,
it was like 86. I think it was like the absolute
mid
80s
and humid, and we were thinking, I don't think I could stand this all summer. At about 20 degrees to that, and that's what they're facing in Philly today. Just some absolutely brutal temperatures on the other side of the country.
Yet another reason to absolutely love where we live here in San Diego. It was perfect. I mean, the weather was perfect yesterday as I sat out and watched him play. But I was sitting on the hot turf, and it radiates up.
It does.
But it
can add 10, 15 degrees when you're sitting on the turf.
But it was totally manageable. Totally. When you think about even when we were in Philly, after you drink, 14 whiskey and gingers the night before, it just really makes it worse for you. But man, listen, summer's here. It is, it's weird because it's kind of, I think he's only got a few weeks left, and then they're back in school, so it really flies by.
I mean, some schools are going back like in the next week or two in San Diego.
Some schools are already back. My wife said.
Goes quickly, that's for sure. They've shortened summer by quite a bit in a lot of places in San Diego.
It was not my proudest moment yesterday either. When we got home from baseball camp, we had a football practice we needed to get to. We had about an hour to kill. And I got home and I went up to the front door and I looked for a big, giant, massive suitcase. That
right. You still don't have any update from British Airways.
Correct. So this is going. That was yesterday. Was day 4 since the report had been filed at the airport on Monday for my bag that has been lost from Manchester to London, London to San Diego. So it was not my finest moment. I will tell you this right now. But you guys know me. You've been out with me. I am very, very, very kind to customer service people.
Yes.
98% of the time. Yesterday was the exception.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were eating their snack as they heard me on the phone. Now, I didn't curse. But I was as forceful as I've ever been on the phone with this person at British Airways because they keep giving me the runaround. And maybe my favorite line of the day from my son, Bo, when I hung up the phone, I walked in to the kitchen and he looked at me. He had his mouth wide open. He goes, you just chewed them out. I go, I did. And I said, buddy, I'm frustrated. It's been 4 days. They're lying to me. They're giving me the runaround. He goes, I go, have you ever heard me chew somebody out like that before? He goes, yeah, once, Adam. And I died. I absolutely died laughing. He goes, yeah. He goes, remember that day?
Wow.
Yeah. And I go, wait, when did you hear me chew out Adam? He goes, remember that day we were driving to La Costa, and as soon as we pulled in, you got out of the car and you were on your phone. He goes, and you were screaming at him. I go, ugh.
I almost just choked on my coffee because I really did not think that's where the story was going. I was drinking some coffee just now while you were going, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be like, yeah, remember that DoorDash guy that screwed up our order and then spit on our door? Or, I was thinking of something like that. And he goes, Adam. I'm like, wait, what?
He got me, bro. He got me so good. And I go, so I sat there for a minute and I go, I do remember that. And I go,
is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
I go, I do remember that. And I go, you're right. That was a bad one. He goes, no, like, Dad, like you were screaming at him on the phone. I go, I remember. I said he said something to me he absolutely should not have said, and he knew he effed up in the moment.
I mean, it's not like he suggested daily roundtables, right?
Yeah, no, it was not daily roundtables, but I know exactly what it was, and I go, oh yeah, you heard that. And I went, all right, maybe I mean, listen, if my son is almost 7.5 years old and he's only heard his dad chew out 2 people, that's pretty good, I would say. But I did, man. I was very, very forceful on the phone to where, she's like, sir, you haven't let me finish. I go, I'm not going to let you finish because you've now told me for 4 days in a row it was going to be 24 to 48 hours.
You realize that it was a woman?
Yeah.
That woman has done nothing wrong. It's not her job to find your bag. It's not her job to not lose your bag in the first place. It's simply her job to placate you on the phone as long as possible. And that's what she's trying to do. Someone else is hopefully trying to find your bag and get it back to you.
I don't think they are.
I just can't imagine, oh, well, I guess I'll put him to the front of the line because he screamed at me the loudest on the phone. If she's the the agent for British Airways who handles all the luggage complaints.
I know. You're right. Ultimately, you're right. But for the third, I have gotten 3 different messages on 3 different days from 3 different people. And I told her, I go, look, and I do this bit. I know this isn't your fault. I know it's not your fault. I'm just frustrated. And I feel like that buys you a little bit. Ma'am, I know this isn't your fault.
You unpersonalize it.
I did.
That's good.
But there really does need to be a class on like how to be upset without being a total D.
And see, I was just loud and I was a little bit forceful. I didn't curse her out. I didn't, I wouldn't even say I was super disrespectful. I just said, you don't understand. Like, I've called now 3 days in a row. One guy told me that you had it. It was in San Diego. The next day, that guy said that guy was lying. And now you're telling me that it's in London, but nobody's put it on a plane yet. I go, that's 3 days, 3 different messages. Somebody needs to tell me where my bag is. I go, I just want, track it. You can send it around the world. I need to know that it's been found. I got medication in there. I got all kinds of my stuff in there. Paulie's gifts in there. And I did. I felt like a jerk. But again, it's like
I'm gonna get Hawaiian gifts before Manchester.
You are. I mean, you're the one. You don't like the macadamia, right?
I don't.
Ben
like
doesn't like the
nuts.
macadamia.
Oh, by the way, I have a box of macadamia nuts for both of you.
Oh, I don't. I'm going to Hawaii. I don't need them. They literally.
I'll bring them to Paulie. Then.
They're everywhere.
I don't need 4 boxes of chocolate. Thanks.
They're literally everywhere you go. Everywhere you like at the airport. Like, you want a handful of macadamia nuts? I have some for you.
So a form of currency over there.
I don't. I mean, I'll eat them in a pinch, but they get like stuck in my teeth, and they go like.
I don't not like them. I also don't love them.
I would stop giving me macadamia.
I would even go as far as to say, don't bother bringing me some, please.
Now I have to. I
think I'd rather wear a puka shell necklace than eat a box of macadamia
I would
nuts.
like to shower Paulie in macadamia nuts. Just everywhere you go. We'll sprinkle them on the ground where you walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to change this. Maybe we need to actually just like request what we want instead of letting you.
No, you can't request what you want.
That's
what
not
are you, my
how it
7-year-old?
works.
Here at the end, I'd like dried pineapple, please.
You do? Okay.
I do like
that's
dried
good
pineapple.
to know. Oh, that's good to know. I like them. I'll eat them. but they're not my favorite nut.
If you could just get one of those containers that has the dry ice and bring back some shave ice from Hawaii, that would be really a treat for us.
I'm probably going to sound like an idiot when I say this, but the shave ice there, and I hate that they call it shave ice. Just call it shaved ice.
I agree.
Shaved. No, it's shave ice. It's not. It's shaved ice. I'm eating it. It's shaved.
You shaved it.
You shaved it
off of a block of ice.
Why are you
and now
taking the
it's
D off of it?
Shaved.
It's
ice.
shaved
I agree
ice.
with you. I agree with you 100%.
Don't do this.
Yep.
Don't call sherbet like sherbet. There's an R in there.
There's not an R.
There is. I've seen it. I
Nothing,
swear to God.
Nothing.
Or no, don't call sherbet. Sherbert. Right. That's what I meant.
Yes. Nothing makes me roll my eyes more than when somebody goes to Hawaii and talks about shave ice. Like,
it makes you sick to your stomach. You're like,
even though I know that's what it's called.
Easy.
I know that's what it's called. It's like,
You're like, oh, look at you, Mr.
Mahalo, pal.
I gotta say this. It's literally the best thing I've ever had there. The way that they do
I
it
bet it's
with the
insane.
cream that they put in it. It sounded weird, but you get it, and they put the special milk or whatever it is. Is it condensed milk?
Sweetened condensed milk, I think, at the top. Yeah.
And you just sit there and you're like, I have to be done. This is it. Okay, last bite. And then you're just, I eat like 2 a day when I'm there. I can't get enough. It is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So we're going to Kauai, Danielle asked, and it's
So
amazing.
Do you have a bag that you're going to take, a replacement luggage, or what are you going to do? You're just going to buy another $800 bag and I'll have 2 of them? You could borrow one.
I was gonna say I got like new luggage. It's been used one time. If you would like it, but
like, how dumb are you to give me your luggage?
I was gonna say
it will be lost.
You have to put an air tag in it.
Oh.
I even got you an air tag for Christmas.
You did? Yes, I still have one. Oh, I'm sure my wife absconded with that at some point, but
because I knew you lose crap.
That
you lost this one.
I can't. I have to check the bag, Beatrice. It's going to be filled with stuff. There's only so much you get
Woods
to carry
packs
on.
too much.
I do.
So it
I
doesn't
overpack.
fit in the overhead compartment. He has to check it.
Yeah. It's Hawaii. Honestly, you could get away with 2 pairs of shorts, 2 t-shirts, and 1 pair of flip-flops and be set for the whole trip. We have laundry. Like, we have the ability to do laundry there. I don't need a ton. So maybe I will just get like a smaller bag. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know. This customer service thing really spun me out yesterday, and it was hysterical. And Bo's like, oh yeah, I heard one time you chewing out Adam that bad. But so yeah, I get it. It should be light, it should be fun, but you got to be prepared as well. And I'm a way over preparer, except for this show, I'll be honest, but everything else in my life I'm very prepared for.
Light and fun is usually what we like to describe this program, especially on a Friday. When the Padres have lost 3 straight, it tends to get a little dark and less fun at times, but we'll try to keep us all entertained for the next 3 hours and 40 minutes. We'll set the menu. We do have a busy show. We got some great guests today on the program. We'll set the menu, let you know what's coming up right after our first check of traffic with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Good morning, guys. Well, here's a real good example starting us off of why people need to learn to secure their load. Somebody dropped a bunch of lumber in the left lanes on South 805 right before La Jolla Village Drive. Well, guess what? Somebody hit it. The careless person that dropped all that lumber has not only ruined that person's Friday, they've basically ruined their car. They're saying this total car is over to the right shoulder. You just got to watch out for all that lumber debris across lanes. Again, that's South 805 before La Jolla Village Drive. What, yada. Elsewhere around the county, though, things are looking pretty quiet so far. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Got Spicy Kelly this morning. Did you eat something spicy? A heartburn or something over there?
No.
You're like feeling.
Do you ever have like spasms?
I mean, yeah.
I'm having like spasms like right here,
Chest spasms.
but not up here, like
right
down,
under your
like right
boob?
under my
Did you just say under his boob?
under my pec, Paulie. Let's be honest. It's weird. It's just having these little
All right.
these little spasms. You ever get those?
I mean, I get, like twitches, like
Yeah, and
muscular
it just
twitches, and it just kind of twitches. My calf does it all the time.
It just goes,
Carlos says call an ambulance.
I didn't order this. This is just showing up right now. I have no idea. So.
Like a twitch, like in the back behind my shoulder. It kind of felt like a little bit
You
of a
don't
spasm.
you guys don't look down at your legs sometimes, and it's just.
Oh yeah, my calves twitch all the time.
Can I be honest? I kind of like it. I like when it happens. It's kind
I
of
don't
fun
know
to
what
watch.
causes. I like to pretend it's because they're so big and muscular that they just have to twitch.
That's what yours are.
I don't really know that that's really true.
It's like it's just all sinew.
But you have been working out with the chest and.
But it's down in here. Like right here. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just spasming. It's very strange. I'll let you feel it next time. It's like a baby kicking. Here, feel this.
Not like a side ache.
No.
Remember when you used to get side aches?
Yeah.
Oh,
a stitch.
Side aches as kids.
100%.
I hated that.
All right, let's lock it in. Let's go.
All right, let's lock it in. Here we go.
All over the place.
All right, we'll start
ADD
obviously talking about the wild 9-7 loss to the Cardinals last night. Darvish's struggles. The offense did get it going. I mean, the frustrating part, of course, is that 7 is almost always enough for the Padres to win and win big. And then finally they do, and they don't on the night that the pitching kind of fails them. The offense kicks into gear. So we'll discuss the Padres coming up with our Padres crap up. And then coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, we'll be joined by our first guest of the morning. That would be Darren Smith making his weekly appearance to talk SDFC, Padres, and more at 7:35. It is a match day. Yeah, Nashville, first ever matchup against Nashville SC tonight at Snapdragon Stadium, so we can preview what SDFC has going. And the transfer window opened yesterday too. I don't think they've officially signed anyone new yet, but Darren probably has his sources that'll indicate what the team is likely to do here in the coming days.
Hector Gomez just tweeted that Lionel Messi is on his way to San Diego, so that'll be cool. Lionel Messi will be here.
Then in our 8 o'clock hour, 8:35, our good friend Katie Wu, who covers the Cardinals for The Athletic, is going to check in as the Padres continue their 4-game series in St. Louis. Always love talking to Katie.
She'll be so smug after that win.
She's
going to be so smug.
That way.
Yes, she will. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
That's dangerous. There's 3 games left in the series as well.
I know.
And then, of course,
we'd
at 9
do the
a.m.
same if we won last time.
9 a.m.
rubbing
this
it in
morning.
like crazy. What happened? Baseball's best fan.
Right.
With the Cardinal way. I would have been rubbing it in like crazy.
Be ready for it at 9 a.m. The Eco Water SoCal Managers Report with Mike Schultz. Of course, you can try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Mike Schultz needs some reinforcements. There's no doubt about it. We are now 6 days away from the trade deadline. We had our first trade yesterday. We'll talk about that coming up as well.
Can they make it to Thursday? That's what I want to know.
Josh Naylor going from the Diamondbacks to the Seattle Mariners kind of kicks off trade deadline season this week. How will the Padres get involved? There's a new piece this morning from Ken Rosenthal on what A.J. Preller may or may not do. Some more trade speculation from Jim Bowden in The Athletic, the move that he wants the Padres to make. It would be a big one. We can discuss all the hypotheticals and what everyone's really hearing now as we get closer and closer to the time when the Padres have to do something. I mean, you felt like they had to do something a couple of weeks ago. They've let their offense get to the point where it's costing them games. Can they make an upgrade for the final 2 months of the season? That's going to be, well, we can't get away from that focus for the next few days.
It's just wild, too, because, obviously you make the connection last night with a poor start from Darvish to where, I mean, it was like everything was in the zone and hammerable, and it got hammered. And now you look at that and you go, oh, we just spent a whole day talking about, are we going to trade Dylan Cease? It's all connected, man.
I'm so glad you said that because I thought the same thing last night. I'm like,
can't trade Dylan Cease now.
Don't think we should trade him now,
bro. I'm with you.
Michael King, where are you?
Yeah, no kidding, man.
We got one more pair of Padres Mets tickets to give away. We'll do that coming up sometime during the show, plus our regular features like Don't Do This and Take on Woods and the Rydell Report. So a busy Friday. Glad everyone's up early with us on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, quickly, let me tell you guys about Eco Water. Again, we're going to be leaving town again, and Travelgeddon is upon us. I will miss my Eco Water. I'll miss my cats. I'll miss our fish, and I will miss my Eco Water, because no matter where you go, if you don't have Eco Water, it's just not the same. We got the system in our home, and it's been the best investment we've ever made, certainly. If you want an upgrade, their alkaline filters take hydration to the next level. We've got it in the house. It's incredible, total game changer. Skin feels great. Coffee is next level, and all the kids love it. The wife loves it. That's how you know it's good, man. If you got approval from everybody in the house, rarely do you get a 4-person vote for yay in your house, and we did with Eco Water. So check them out today. Get a free in-home water test. Let them come out, test your water. They do such a great job. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water. Now just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338 or go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
We got reports of a Padres trade
Way to hit that
proposal
post,
that was
by the way.
denied.
That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
That was really, I saw you.
So glad.
Way to
Like,
hit that
He's
post.
done that a few times lately over
He's
the last
getting
couple
it,
of weeks.
man.
He's
That was
learning.
really good. That was really
He's
good.
learning.
That was awesome.
It takes me 732 spins through some of our music before I
true.
finally get where to
You crushed it.
start talking.
Are we
But,
real? Are we going to do these reported rumors?
Well,
do you want
no,
to do that?
well, this one sounds like it was an actual bit of reporting, a trade proposal that the Padres made to the Boston Red Sox that's being reported by which
Okay, so his name is Tyler Milliken. He's really good. He is on the Section 10 pod. He is a massive Red Sox fan.
all right, so he's not like an athletic reporter or anything.
Well, he's also on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
He's Boston Woods.
He's like Boston Woods. Yeah, he's kind of like Boston me. He's better. I've watched his stuff. He's really talented guy.
Okay.
He's the
but
one
more entertainer than like hard hitting journalist.
I think he's the guy that had a nice comment about us. Remember, he's like, it's nice to hear people talk about Jaron Duran and they're not this, that. Paul, you got something on your lip, like some latte, a little cream on your lip.
He went to Better Buzz this morning.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All loaded up over there. I just didn't want you to have cream on you. It was very distracting to look at under your mustache.
All right. So what is?
So I don't know if
someone may have leaked a little info to him. Possibly.
I think he gets some good scoop. But he said 33 minutes ago, the Padres made an offer to the Red Sox for Jaron Duran involving Dylan Cease, per Sean McAdam. Okay, so this is per someone else. This is a columnist, supervising reporter for MassLive.com. The package also included catching prospect Ethan Salas and another prospect, not shortstop Leodalis DeVries. The Red Sox quickly rejected it. So they had a chance to maybe land Dylan Cease and Ethan Salas for Jaron Duran. And again,
interesting.
I think, I don't know necessarily what their motivation is to move Duran, who's got a couple of years of control left, other than maybe we like what we have on the youth movement, even though he's still very young and is really, from my understanding at least, he's kind of a leader on that team. Now, I know that they have Alex Bregman, and he's like the cornerstone. He's a brand new guy, but he's kind of the leader. They've got good leadership there, but I think he's one of kind of like a heartbeat guy, and so he's been rumored to the Padres for 60 days. That probably dropped 60 days ago. So I don't know if that's true. It sounds like an interesting proposal. It's going to be hard for me. I don't know why necessarily. It's going to be hard for me if we end up shipping Ethan Salas off, just based on a couple of recent conversations I had, and especially for Jarren Duran, who, again, doesn't hit lefties very well. I don't want to be rude when I say this, but there's a certain type of hitter that performs very well in Fenway Park. I may be done with the Fenway Park merchant guys. I think, it's a different place. You can slap balls off that green monster, balls that are usually, weak flyouts. They got a really short porch and right down the line. Vast outfield, though, and he's a doubles machine. I mean, he hits a lot of doubles, hits the gaps. Maybe that would work at Petco Park. Clearly, if AJ Preller likes him and values him, Ben, there's something that I'm missing. But the numbers don't scream out to me. This is a guy we have to have. Again, another lefty bat. Not a power guy. We need slug. Not a massive slug guy. So I don't know.
It's tough though because he's still an upgrade over what we have,
bro.
But you don't want to pay.
No question.
You don't want to overpay if you don't feel like he's the right guy.
So there's definitely a sentiment already seeing in the chat that sending Ethan Salas in that deal would be the Padres overpaying. Why would they offer so much? But the Red Sox are looking for pitching. So the Dylan Cease part of that equation makes a little bit of sense. It makes me think, though, like this trade proposal that I read from Jim Bowden. And this is simply him, 5 trades I'd like to see, not anything he's hearing about it, but he had a 3-way deal that would have Jarren Duran coming to the Padres in exchange for Ethan Salas, who would go to the Marlins, and then the Red Sox would get Edward Cabrera, who we just saw pitched really well against the Padres a few days ago. But if that's the case, if they turn down Cease and Salas for Duran, then I doubt the Padres are getting him for Salas without Cease. That would be a much better deal for the Padres than the one that has reportedly already been rejected by the Boston Red Sox. Even if they like Edward Cabrera maybe better than Dylan Cease, I don't see this as being that realistic if the Red Sox have no interest in Ethan Salas.
The trade deadline is such a weird thing because you're anxiety ridden the whole time. I don't know how you guys feel, but my stomach's in knots, right? And the other thing is it's exhausting with all of these what ifs, and this is what we're hearing, and AJ Preller's kicking the tires on everyone. Man, at some point, in my opinion, I would think a GM needs to lock in on what he really wants and needs, right? Kicking the tires, I could go out and buy a new car, and I could go to 50 dealerships, and I would end up at Sedano Ford, local and veteran-owned Sedano Ford. But I can go to a dealership, and I can kick tires.
But you want to at least go check out the Ferraris.
Right. I mean, I'm out there kicking tires. I got to lock in. I got 6 days left to pull a deal. I got to figure out what I want, and then I need to identify it, and then I need to go get it. If I'm out there kicking tires all Saturday, I feel like I'm kind of wasting a little bit of time.
When you say the trade deadline is stressful, is that for you or for...
Just me as a fan.
As a fan,
a fan, it's really stressful.
But I mean, the people who it's the most stressful for,
the players.
I don't think it's agent. He has agency at least. He can make the final decision as to what he's going to do. I think for a guy like Jake Cronenworth right now,
I think you could see it last night.
Who had, by the way, congratulations to Jake, who set the Padres franchise record for most ever starts at second base yesterday, while his name is swirling around in potential trade rumors. And he's trying to just ignore it and go, there's nothing I can do about it. There's a good chance he'll still be with the San Diego Padres next week, but it's not 100% chance he's going to be with the Padres next week. And he said, I signed a long-term deal. I'd love to play my entire career for one team, but it's not up to him. I think he has limited no trade, but certainly there's a chance that Jake could be traded. Now that would be stressful. Having been in now, 5 years in San Diego, 6 years in San Diego, a key part of the team, knowing that it's just going to be up and gone anytime in the next 6 days. And I may have to start over with a new franchise, a new fan base, new teammates, new coaches. that a new spring training facility next February.
New favorite morning show,
just completely upend my life in the next few days. And I have no idea, and I have no control over it all. I can't say no. I just have to go where they tell me to do. Now, that to me would be the most stressful part of this week for anybody.
Listen, there are different layers and levels of players, right? There are guys. I think Ryan Helsley came out after the game last night. He said it's a 90% chance I get traded. So he knows he's got his stuff packed. They said I saw a rumor yesterday that said Sandy Alcantara has his stuff packed. He knows he's gone. Eugenio Suarez, he knows he's leaving. He knows he is. There's that level of guys that are like, there's no way this team is keeping me. I know I'm leaving. Then there's the guy, which that's something that you can absorb and deal with. The guy that's like crony, it's like, there's interest, interest when people are asking about you.
He's got like 4 years left on his deal.
And your team is like in it.
Right.
So you're like, well, this sucks. I don't want to go somewhere, I don't want to go. I mean, I'm probably going to go somewhere where I'm also in it, but like, I want to do it with these guys who I've done it with. So it's a different level for guys like crony. And then there's guys that probably think they are set and fat and happy, and they're like, oh, by the way, you've been shipped off to Cleveland or whatever. But the different buckets of those players makes it interesting. And crony is in that weird kind of middling bucket of I may go, I may stay, which nobody wants uncertainty. Let me know. Like if I'm out, if you're firing me, fire me. Don't drag it out. Just shoot me in the back of the head and let me go.
We'll continue to pass along any rumors and reports, of course, as they happen here on 97.3 The Fan over the next 6 days. Want to get into last night's game, though, get to our Padres crap-up highlights from Jesse and Tony. We will do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Here comes Kelly. Look out.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Park 101 Multi-Level Sports Bar and Restaurant at the Carlsbad Village. Well, some lumber that some idiot dropped in lanes has now touched off a solo vehicle accident, South 805, right before La Jolla Village Drive. This totaled car is over to the right shoulder. A bunch of lumber debris crossed lanes. I'd be so mad. Elsewhere around the county, somebody dropped what looks like a garden tool in the slow lane, southbound 5, right before Encinitas Boulevard. Park 101 Sports Bar and Restaurant in Carlsbad. Catch the game with your fellow faithful this weekend as we take on St. Louis while sipping 22 ounces of Estrella Jalisco out of a souvenir bat. I think that means you, not necessarily players. Park 101, Carlsbad Village, proud sponsor of the Padres Radio Network. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened? Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres
Crap up.
presented by Hamul Casino. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
Pitch to Arise, swung on, line into right field. That's a base hit down the line. Walker, long way to go to get it. Fernando racing towards third. He's going to be waved around. On his way home is Arise round second. It's an RBI double for Luis Arise, and the Padres have a 1-0 lead. 2-0 pitch is in the air down the right field line. That's down to the base hit. Arise rounding third. He's going to score. Merrill going to challenge Walker. No. Slams on the brakes. Heads back to first base. It's an RBI single and a 2-0 Padre lead. Standard batter. Donovan rips it in the air down the right field line. Headed towards the wall. Gonna go. 3-run homer, Brendan Donovan. He tore the Padres up last season, and now 2 for 2 tonight as he gives the Redbirds a 4-2 lead. Delivers, and that's hit in the air to very deep left center field. Johnson's going back into the gap at the wall. Gonna go. Second home run of the inning for the Cardinals. Wilson Contreras adds another extra base hit to the ledger. A 3-run homer, and it is 7-2 here in the second inning. Fire, and Fernando sends it in the air to deep right center field. Scott is back into the gap, looking up. This one gonna go into the Cardinal bullpen. 17th home run of the season for Fernando. He's 2 for 2 on the night, and the Padres make a loud noise to begin the third inning. It's 7-3. And the pitch to Manny, hit in the air to right center field, tailing away from Scott. He's on the move. He looks up. It's going to go to 2-run homer the other way for Manny Machado. Padres have answered right back, and this is a 2-run game. Johnson swings, hits it off the handle to the right side. Contreras way off at first, has it, feeds the pitcher Gray. It goes off his glove. Bogarts comes in to score. Johnson is safe, and it's a 1-run game. She swings and misses at a ball in the dirt, picked up by Padres to tag him out. That is strike 3 in the end of the ball game. So Helsley works a scoreless ninth, and a wild night at Busch comes to a close with the Cardinals ahead 9-7.
Yeah, I'm pleased the whole game. I looked at great at bats. The top 5 guys were really, really good. Driving the ball the other way through the middle of the field. Toddy looked excellent. Ball came off his bat. Manny drove the ball the other way. Jackson, good swings. Pulled the ball for an RBI through the middle a couple times. Hit the ball on the button. Bogies and bats were good again for the most part, and we were able to put good 7 runs. We just weren't able to hold them under.
Can I be honest with you? That's how I thought the majority of San Diego Padres games were going to go this season. Had you asked me at the beginning of the year, we talked a little bit about it yesterday on the roundtable.
Pitching, a lot of question
marks.
A lot
of question marks, man.
Going to win a lot of games. They're going to be high scoring.
But, man, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Arise, Sheet, we're going to score some runs, but, man, can our pitching hold on? And obviously it's a heartbreaker when Yu Darvish goes out and pitches that poorly. 2 3-run homers with 2 outs in 1 inning. It's absolutely brutal. Yes, credit to fighting back, credit to not giving up. They never really give up. And I do appreciate that about this team. That being said, man, that is 3 straight losses. You had Sonny Gray on the ropes. It's tough to watch, man. It's tough to watch Yu Darvish pitch like that. I don't know that I respect a player more than I respect Yu Darvish. Honestly, he's just one of the best.
It was sad. It made me sad.
It made me really, really sad.
It.
I didn't like it. I saw a lot of kind of nasty things said, and that's you're entitled to that as a fan. I'm not going to do that to Yu Darvish. He's earned a lot more respect than that, in my opinion. But you fan how you want to fan. Yu Darvish last year, when he took that time away that he needed, was like, don't pay me. I do get the sense that Yu Darvish isn't going to be here for, what has he got, 4 years left on his deal? I think when Yu Darvish is done, he'll let us know when he's done. I really do. I get the sense that he's not going to be, hey, I'm out at spring training as a 43-year-old trying to get paid. I don't get that sense, man. I could be wrong about you, but I think when it's time, when he knows it's time to go away, it'll be time.
Three more full seasons.
I think it's absolutely fair to be concerned about Yu Darvish and what he's got left. I think we also have to be honest. When we saw the first 3 starts, we looked and thought, oh, stuff looks pretty good. There's still something there. We also have to acknowledge that he's had giant clunkers every single season, usually fairly early in his year, and this is early in his year. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like his 4th or 5th start every single year. He has a giant turd.
It's always like the first. It's like the second week in April.
Yeah, and you're like,
he God, if he just took away that one game in San Francisco,
and we think Yu's washed, and then he goes and reels off a bunch of good starts. So it's very possible that you could still get locked in and pitch well for the Padres, but I don't think you can count on it at this point, and that does impact what you're thinking here at the trade deadline, whether you can think about trading Dylan Cease or not. If you have Yu Darvish back, the return of Michael King would be big as well. I'm going to, do my voice of reason thing just for a moment here. 3 days ago, we were feeling awfully good about this team. They had extended their wild card lead to 3.5. They had pulled it within 3.5 of the Dodgers, gotten to 10 games above 500. But I don't really think that much has changed. They were a flawed team 3 days ago.
He's gonna kill you. Yeah,
and
still flawed.
And they're still a flawed team today. They lost the last 3 close games. They had won 3 close games before that. The margin in all those games is not that big. They're 3-4 on a 10-game road trip.
Yep.
They have they lost those 4 games by a total of 6 runs. This happens when you play these close games. That's always been the problem for the San Diego Padres. They just play so many of these close games. And now They used to be really, really good in the 1 and 2 run games. Now they've come back to the pack a little bit. They're, I think, 9th or 10th in 1 and 2 run games as opposed to 1st or 2nd, which means, yeah, you're gonna take more L's when you keep playing some of these close games. So we're just seeing what the Padres have always been, and this just happens to be a stretch where now they've lost 3 of these close games in a row. It hasn't really fundamentally changed anything. They didn't fall apart the last 3 days.
Nope.
They weren't that good the previous 3 or 4 days.
Right.
It's simply you play a lot of close games. Sometimes you go win-loss, win-loss. Remember, they had like 12 straight days where they did that. Sometimes you go win-win-win, and then sometimes you go loss. Same team they've always been.
It was, it was interesting watching Schulte last night with the bullpen because, I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're punting." I texted you guys. I was like, I don't understand this necessarily. He was dancing on the line, right? Like he was really, really close to the edge last night, and it could have gone horribly more south than it did. Kyle Hart getting that double play that was absolutely ungodly from a rise and getting back to the bag. I mean, it could have gotten sideways real quick. Now you get
I know it's messed up, but when you have the Yuki handoff to Peralta, that kind of tells you
that they're
the direction they're going.
But then he went with Estrada, which I was like, I don't understand what the hell's happening here. It's not my job, right? But again, hindsight being 2020, I don't know that I would have managed it any different, to be honest. He had an idea of what he wanted to do, and he was going to get those guys in. Now, you are set up better for the next 3 days. And if Mike Schilt rips off 3 wins in a row in St. Louis, no one cares about last night. It is a bummer to watch this team waste 7 runs, though, because that's just something that doesn't happen for this team.
I certainly understand. I mean, there was traffic all over the place.
Oh, my God.
But ultimately, Padres bullpen pitched 4 2/3 innings and allowed 1 run.
Yeah.
The game wasn't on the bullpen or Mike Schilt's bullpen decisions.
Sure.
I would imagine that Jeremiah Estrada pitched because David Morgan was probably unavailable. He had pitched. They'd used their low leverage guys the last couple of days in the losses without using their other guys. They simply had to have someone. And, it's a 2-run game at that point, a 1-run game, 2-run game. You could still win that game. Estrada was probably the most fresh and needed maybe some work after not pitching for a couple of days, and he only pitched 13 pitches. So I'm guessing he's available today if they need him. I don't think it was malpractice by Mike Schilt at all with the bullpen. He got lucky that it didn't sting him. All the traffic, and the only run that was given up was on a solo home run by Wandy Peralta.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of crazy.
No, Wandy did not hit a solo home run.
Given up by Wandy Peralta.
Given up by Wandy.
That was the only run that was allowed by the bullpen.
Yeah. Good point.
So they are set up well today with Nick Pivetta also on the mound going. We'll talk more about that coming up, and we'll give away some Padres Mets tickets to kick off hour number 2 next year on Ben and Woods. Ken Rosenthal actually said some nice things about A.J. Preller in his column this morning in The Athletic.
Don't believe it. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
He writes, some rival executives contend A.J. Preller needs to act with urgency at the trade deadline. Here's the thing, though. Preller always acts with urgency. He would do that if he were under contract through 2036 instead of 2026.
I agree.
He is one of the fearless executives in Major League Baseball. And he said he operates without fear. And I consider that a compliment to A.J. Preller, that he does explore every path to try to make the Padres better. I don't think he GMs to try to keep his job, as so many executives do. Like, okay, this might be a good move, but if it doesn't work out,
I'm
dead, so I'm not going to even try it. AJ is not afraid of making a move that he thinks will work, even though the consequences could be pretty disastrous if they don't for him personally. And we've seen different iterations of AJ where he's been rock star GM and he's been absolutely bottom of the barrel, like, what the heck are you doing, man? And we've gone through this over his decade plus now in San Diego. But I will tip my cap to AJ in that he definitely operates without fear, as Ken Rosenthal writes.
No question. Getting to know him a little bit more over the years, in year one covering him, I was very intimidated by him. And the more time you spend with him, the one thing I will say is that one thing I've learned from him is the dude is obsessed with this. He's obsessed with it. This is not I'm clocking out and going home, and he does get his basketball in. He does, but other than that, Benny, he wants to win, and he really wants to win. He's made some real foolish moves. Absolutely. No question. The riverboat gambler days, some of those are tough.
Rockstar GM.
Those are tough to stomach sometimes, but I do appreciate, certainly as a fan, a GM that wants to win. And then I also appreciate, as somebody that covers the team, there's never any shortage of material. I mean, it just never. This is not, Cincinnati. Will we add somebody? We should. I don't know that we will. This is not Pittsburgh. But I do know his obsession with winning. And look, I hope it works out for him, because if it works out for him, that means it works out for us.
As for what the Padres may do, Ken Rosenthal has as little clue as the rest of us, writing, may trade Dylan Cease, may not, may move closer Robert Suarez, may not. Teams are inquiring about other pitchers, including Ryan Bergert and Stephen Kolek and Braden Nett in the minor leagues. They could all be tradable. They could all be part of the starting rotation next season. He says that AJ, maybe more than any other general manager, is willing to go out and find more pitching and just continue to replenish his rotation and keep going. He likes, and this was kind of an insightful point, AJ likes to find position players and lock them up. He wants a lineup with guys consistently there season after season, but he doesn't necessarily feel that way about the pitchers. He'll find a Seth Lugo, a Michael Wacha, sign him to a one-year deal, give guys opt-outs, and move on to the next guy the next year. Because, quite frankly, pitching is a lot more volatile than generally hitting and position players. You can have a great season.
One would think, yeah.
Especially bullpen guys usually tend to be more volatile. You have a good season one year, have a not so great season next year. Look at Dylan Cease, his whole career. Even though he's been obviously one of the more elite pitchers in baseball, he'll have a 2-something ERA one year, he'll have a 4-something ERA one year. And he has done this back and forth because that tends to be what happens to pitchers in Major League Baseball season to season. And AJ Preller kind of has an understanding of that.
Tom H says, sell everyone. The team doesn't have it, or this team doesn't have it. And I'll push back a little bit on that, again, we talked a little bit earlier about you never feel these guys they're not circling the drain per se. I know they've lost 3 in a row. Again, there's something to be said for being in every game
by 4 runs,
right?
And it's not
lost 3 games by four runs. And I'm going to tell you, I promise you, Tom, they're not gonna sell off.
No.
They're not. They want to go for it.
Well,
let
me ask of Tom, and just in general, which team does have it
right now?
Yeah,
the Brewers. That's it. That's it.
But they didn't have it a couple months
My
ago.
God, they were horrible.
Remember when they started the season and everyone was going, my God, the Brewers might be the worst team we've ever seen. They lost to the Yankees like 27-0 the first 3 days of the year. And we go,
terrible.
Wow, the Brewers, I mean, they have really lost it. That's very sad for that organization. The Tigers looked like they were great. What happened to the Tigers?
I couldn't believe this. I saw this last night.
I would have died to be the Tigers 10 days ago. Now they look like the worst team in baseball.
I tweeted this last night. I couldn't believe these numbers. So they're in a mired right now in a 1-10 stretch in their last 11. For hitting in this stretch, in this 11-game stretch, the batting average is 29th. Runs scored last in baseball. Pitching, ERA last. WHIP tied for last. They have that is falling off a cliff. I don't see that here. We have not fallen off a cliff yet this season. We have not fallen off a cliff.
I feel like the Tigers are going to be okay.
I do
pull
too.
out of it here at some point. This is part of the baseball
it's
season.
kind of part of the deal here. And I tweeted, the faucet really does just stop sometimes. It's inexplicable and maddening because I promise you, and Darren Smith, who knows AJ Hinch really well, is coming on at 7:35. And I wonder if he's talked to him in this stretch. I'm going to ask D. Smith that. Their process has not changed one bit. Not one bit. Their routine hasn't changed one bit. Their desire to win hasn't changed one bit. What changed? They didn't all of a sudden come in, hey, we're going to revamp we're going to do a rebrand.
Let's take our foot off the gas just a little.
We're going to do a rebrand. I've got our whole new offensive approach here. We're going to install it. And we went 1-11 or 1-10. Nothing changed. And that's the worst thing about this sport is you don't change a thing, but everything you feel is working against you. Your pitcher, like that slider that I threw 2 weeks ago for strikes all day, just got hammered 4 times. What do I do now? It's just weird. It's a dumb game.
Remember that in the National League, you look at the other contenders for the playoffs, they're all massively flawed. The Padres, by the way, since we're 1 week into the second half, they've actually gained ground. They were a half game up on the Giants. They're now a game up. They were 5.5 back of the Dodgers. They're now 5. Now, could they have gained a lot more ground with a good week? Yes, but they have not hurt their chances at all for the playoffs in this last week. Every team, the Giants are flawed. They just had a horrifically bad stretch. The Reds, 2 games back, are very flawed. The Cardinals are trying to give up on their season. They're trying to trade Ryan Helsley. They're trying to move on because they don't think they have it. The Diamondbacks have already started, and that's it. Those are the teams behind the Padres. The Diamondbacks have already started the sell-off with Josh Naylor. Eugenio Suarez is next. They're out of it. Even the teams ahead of the Padres, like the Mets and the Phillies, have both gone through rugged, awful, ugly stretches. The Cubs hit a wall for a while as well, and the Dodgers have been kind of a mess most of the season. The National League is completely and totally ordinary and mediocre this year. So why would you ever give up on your chances with 2 months to go when none of these other teams are distinguishing themselves? Like you said, only the Brewers have really played good baseball, over the last month and a half.
I mean, they're talking about the Mets. Francisco Lindor last week was in like an 0 for 30. 0 for 30 for Francisco Lindor, who makes a ton of money, one of the best players in baseball, and can't buy a hit in 30 AB. So listen, the having a little bit of perspective is important. I understand your frustration. I was pretty frustrated last night. I did feel like we were going to win that game. I did feel like we were going to get this, and it just wasn't in the cards. No pun intended.
In what scenario? We're talking, this was the one time out of 100 games played, it feels like, where, you do the, what if I told you? It'd be the 3rd inning. Arise would have 2 doubles at this point. Manny's hit a home run.
Yeah.
Fernando's hit a home run. Darvish is on the bump, down by 2.
I know.
I couldn't believe.
The irony is if they hit like that, Padres are going to be fantastic.
We've said for weeks, 4, to 4. We need 4 runs. We almost doubled that.
Now, 1 game does not mean anything. They could
know.
go back and score 2 again today because that's been who they've been for the majority of the season.
Score 2 and win.
They need help offensively. No one denies it. AJ Preller doesn't deny it. He did an interview with MLB Radio this week. Like to find a bat or 2. Mm-hmm. That he is shopping. He is looking. He needs someone to be willing to trade guys to him. And, now that the deadline's coming up, teams are going to have to make these decisions and figure it out, and they will make some moves.
Yesterday was definitely the first domino to fall with Naylor going up to Seattle. We got MLB Network on here in the studio, and they're talking about that move, and they were saying that Eugenio Suarez is still the Mariners' top priority. Even after acquiring Naylor, you already have Cal Raleigh. They're looking to add Suarez as well, which would be insane if you had those three in your lineup. But I would expect some moves to be happening here sooner rather than later now. As a Padres fan, are you like, you're ready for a move this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, good for the Mariners going out and doing something.
Yeah.
They're not a franchise that have been known for doing things, and their fans have a good enough team. I mean, they're the exact same record as the San Diego Padres right now, 55-48. And you think, oh, yeah, look at the Mariners. They're a team on the rise. Exact same record as the San Diego Padres. So you're comparing.
They just got a lot better with that bat. So you're kind of looking at that and going, let's go.
And now what's the Padres move going to be? I wonder if the Arizona Diamondbacks trade indicates an unwillingness to deal within the division or even within the National League. I'm sure that Naylor and Eugenio Suarez generated interest from teams, in the NL, even in the NL West. But perhaps, if I'm the GM, I don't want to trade guys within my division. I really don't. I mean, you kind of get that, right?
Not key pieces like that.
You don't want to have to go up against those same guys multiple times the rest of the season. So perhaps Eugenio Suarez is not on the table for the Dodgers. That's kind of where I'm kind of hinting at here.
I mean, that would be so.
Everybody's on the table for the Dodgers,
unless Arizona is completely unwilling to trade him within the division.
But they have the prospects. Now it's a matter of what they give up, and they don't usually give up much. And I got to imagine Andrew Friedman They could. It would be a first for them to give up really, really good prospects.
I mean, they have the pieces.
Yeah, they have them, but will he do it? And I got to imagine Andrew Friedman and his track record on acquiring relievers like Michael Kopech is done. Trinan has been a really good acquisition for them. He's coming back, or if he's not back already. Tanner Scott's been terrible for them. They paid him $70 million. Like, is he really going to go out and give up a top 5 prospect to go get a reliever in the bullpen? He may have to. And I hope other teams hold them to that, right? Like, hey, man, you guys are in dire need. It's going to cost you one of your top 5. It's usually their 28th best prospect that gets moved, and they fleece guys. They've fleeced us before. It absolutely happens. So I like Suarez to the Reds. I like Suarez to the Mariners. That's fine. Even though the Reds are, we're kind of battling with those guys. I think that's a good fit for them. But we gotta locate some impact bats like that as well. And I just don't know that Jarren Duran is that guy. I just don't know that he is.
All right, we've got Don't Do This coming up in our next segment. And I got an NFL story for you, a nasty fight that will be brewing between the Raiders and a player that they released yesterday.
Oh, I did not see that.
This is going to get ugly is my anticipation. I'll get to that and more coming up with Ben and Woods. And then we got Darren Smith at the bottom of the hour. Don't go away. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Before we get to Kelly's traffic, though, Woods and I tell you about trustandwill.com. It's an online resource for people like us who haven't really had the time or the inclination to go sit down with a lawyer and, set up estate documents like a will or a trust to take care of your family. That can be a very expensive process, time-consuming. And how many of us actually know like an estate lawyer? Not that many. I mean, unless you're like, an heiress or something.
An heiress.
Yeah.
All right.
With a lot of, resources. This is for everybody. It's very easy. We went online, did it earlier this year, set up our estate documents with really very little hassle.
It's like no hassle whatsoever. Carve out about 25, 30 minutes to do it. And when you check out, make sure you enter the code FAN, F-A-N. They're going to give you 20% off. That's no joke. And they're going to ship you your estate documents. You got them. You get them notarized. Throw them in the desk. Forget about it.
Yeah, and it helps keep your family out of messy probate court. If something should happen to you, if you set up a trust, they can have access to your funds right away as opposed to potentially months down the line with lots of court fees and taxes that you might be responsible for. So again, get it done today. Get that peace of mind. Set up your documents by going to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN. Get 20% off at trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
Yes.
It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. And Woods, I will let you bat leadoff today.
Thank you very much. I will try to come through for you. This is unfortunate, an unfortunate situation for an unfortunate franchise. I saw this news yesterday, and I went, man, when it rains, it pours for the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is just not, it happens from time to time. But the Pittsburgh Pirates got some pretty brutal news on Wednesday night. Their second round draft choice decided, I'm not going to be joining your organization at this time. Instead, Angel Cervantes announced he'll be honoring his college baseball commitment to UCLA. Listen, it's a risk that you take when you draft a high school player, certainly. But these things, a lot of them have been, discussed and worked out. In this case, this could be a case simply of a high school kid changing his mind at the last minute. But it leaves the Pittsburgh Pirates now without a second round selection. They'll get a compensation pick in the same spot next year. But again, that is one less player that they can start developing right now to try to get back to the road of glory in Pittsburgh. And it just it's a little bit embarrassing, I would think, for the GM and all the guys involved.
It certainly can happen to any team. I mean, every GM has drafted guys they've been unable to sign. That's not totally uncommon, but it does also, when it's that high of a draft pick, it shows you didn't do your homework well enough. And there may be a fundamental flaw in your organization. Padres, of course, congratulations to AJ Preller. They got all officially 19 of their draft picks signed, plus 11 undrafted college free agents. So 30 new Padres into the organization as of yesterday.
Yep.
All right. My DDT story comes from the world of the NFL. And this, I think, is going to get nasty. The Las Vegas Raiders yesterday release defensive tackle Christian Wilkins.
Okay.
Now, Wilkins had just signed 1 year ago a 5-year, like $100+ million contract with over $35 million guaranteed. But he suffered a foot injury last year, a Jones fracture, suffered in his left foot last October. And he only played in like 5 games all season. Now, there's been a couple of different schools of thought, different doctors that have made different recommendations. The Raiders wanted him to get another surgery, but after consulting with his other doctors, he felt like that wasn't in his best interest. And he said, I don't want to get that surgery. And the Raiders said, well, then we are going to release you and void the $35.2 million in guaranteed money in your contract. Like, he was supposed to get that no matter what.
Wow.
Even if he didn't play it down for the Raiders, that's guaranteed money. And they're saying, we're not going to give it to you. Of course, the NFLPA has immediately filed a grievance, but it brings up, I think, a really interesting ethical question. Certainly, when you sign a contract with your employer, there's an obligation to try to meet your side of the deal. Like, I'm going to go out there and do my best I can to perform and play for the team. But if you get hurt and there's guaranteed money, I mean, in Major League Baseball, it wouldn't matter. But
right.
The Raiders are saying, because you won't get this surgery, we're not going to pay you. Do they own you that much as an employer? They can force you to get a surgery that you don't believe is in your best interest.
I mean, I'm sure that has happened in professional sports 2 billion times. I don't want to get this. No, you have to get this. This is what we're recommending, et cetera.
Most athletes probably do. I mean, remember Fernando Tatis Jr. and his shoulder surgery that he kind of put off for a long time. The Padres wanted him to get it, but they didn't. They never forced him to get it.
Cut him.
They weren't necessarily happy about it, but they let him have the agency to make that decision. And then finally, when he was suspended, right, he said, okay,
I'll just do it.
Just get it now because I'm going to be out anyway, so you might as well do it. So, but in this case, there was an honest disagreement. And the Raiders said, all right, well, if you don't think our way is the right way, then the highway is your way, and we're not going to pay you.
I got to imagine don't you think he'll probably win that?
I think he will. I mean, I guess there'll be details. There's certainly, the Raiders say that they voided the money, quote, due to failure to maintain his physical condition to play. They didn't like how he was rehabbing, and they didn't like that he wouldn't get another surgery. But
it's
what can you force an employee to do?
Round tables. Lots and lots and lots of round tables. Lots of them. Loads of them. YouTube shows.
That, I believe, was one of the final big deals given out by Tom Telesco before he was
beach cleanups,
fired.
Fair days, barbecues, Christmas parties.
Anymore?
Seems like most of the chat is siding with Christian Wilkins here.
I think so too.
Guaranteed is guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed is guaranteed.
To force someone to get a medical treatment.
Get your ass in there, get that surgery. No, I'm not going to. So quit asking. Somebody said the Jones fracture is really gnarly. It takes a long time to heal. And, if he lost that case, that would be such a bummer. That would be such a bummer for him.
I mean, every surgery comes with risk. I mean, including risk of death when you have any significant surgery. But I would imagine, and obviously not a doctor, haven't talked to any of the doctors here, but probably said, there's a good chance that this is going to help you, but there's also a chance that it could make it worse. I mean, this is a risk that you have to decide on, like any one of us does. If we go in for a surgery, the doctor will sit you down and say, all right, here are the risks involved. We think this is a good or not good idea for you, but ultimately you make the decision. And the Raiders are saying, no, we make the decision for you in this case.
Yeah. And you got to do what we tell you.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really, really interesting story. We got a hybrid. Don't and do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
Paulie told me about this story. I went and looked it up for myself because I actually didn't believe it. But listen, the reason it's a hybrid, the do this is we've all heard the phrase, and you see it all the time on Twitter. Hey, let him cook. Let him cook. Like if I'm going back and forth with a Dodger fan and I drop a good, a nice jab, somebody will post that meme of that guy cooking and say, let him cook. Go cook, Woods. Yeah, let him cook.
Let him cook.
Benny puts on the Kangol and the chain.
Yeah, let him cook.
Let him cook.
100%.
Let him cook.
Well, Gatorade and the WNBA have partnered up, and they have made water bottles and towels and billboards that say, let her cook. Now,
I see.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I see the problem. there.
right.
Yeah.
There's a slight problem with that, Paula. You can go ahead and ring
Ring the
the
misogyny bell.
Imagine I go home to my missus. I go, I got you the new WNBA shirt. There you go.
Let her
cook. She kicked me square where the sun don't shine. Let her cook. And it's like somebody tweeted, they've just set this thing back 50 years. They haven't. It's not 50 years. It's a good slogan. It's a really good slogan. I think maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. Is like, no, like let's take the cooking and women in the kitchen cooking connotation out of it and let her cook.
Is it maybe a sign how far that we've come?
That's what I was trying to get to.
So down the line and up on a billboard, like, yeah, no, of course it's normal. I mean, everything, we say it for the guys. We should be saying it for the ladies as well.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. That's how they're going to choose to look at it. But you got to imagine that was
now if the billboard had said a woman's place is in the kitchen, that would be wrong.
That's different.
Then that would be totally wrong.
Save that clip, Paulie. Yeah, save that to use out of context at some point later down the road. Make sure it's nice and clean. Okay?
JH619 says, make her cook would be worse.
Make her cook would be way worse. It would be way worse. But again, somebody sat in a boardroom and they probably wanted this, right? It's actually like
let her cook.
Offer
her
cook.
the choice if she wants to cook or not.
That doesn't
totally
roll
up
off
to her.
WNBA. Offer her a choice to cook actual real food or to dominate in basketball.
I saw that, and I think the same thing as you. I think they knew this was this is how it would be perceived. If it just said, silence the haters or something, it's not a headline. It's not. Nobody's talking about it.
It's not. I got to tell you. So about a week ago, laying in bed, Padres were off. Boys wanted to watch a movie. I happened to scroll by, and I caught it was Caitlin Clark. They were playing. I was watching WNBA. Me, my wife, Bo, and Taylor laying in bed. We watched probably 30 minutes of this game, and I went, this is way better than the NBA. I had way more fun watching it than the NBA. And I mean,
through the roof.
Hey, that is 27 more minutes than I watched of real NBA basketball this year. I had a friggin' blast watching it. I wish we had a team here. I do. I thought it was awesome. Fast.
They've done a
dynamic,
really good job over the last couple of years.
Caitlin Clark hitting 80-footer. I was like, this is amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. So, let her cook is the new slogan. And you can obviously see the hybrid don't and do this on a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we got Darren Smith joining us for his weekly SDFC on the pitch tonight. Talk Padres, trade deadline, and more coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
If you're maxed out on credit cards, guys, if you're struggling with high interest debt, you can pay it all off in days. Told you many times about Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan. You can get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage, no appraisals, no waiting. Most importantly, no BS. We don't like BS. The rapid equity loan program at Loan Pronto is pretty incredible. Your equity in your home is yours. Use it. Get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. They've got instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front, which I think is a pretty big deal as well. Call Loan Pronto now. Get a free instant appraisal. Do it today. See how much cash you could get out. Loan Pronto, A+ rated by the BBB. They got nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now. Get the conversation going at 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got Darren Smith standing by. First, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by U.S. Wellness Meats. Overwhelmed by processed foods, U.S. Wellness Meats offers an all-natural alternative, 100% grass-fed beef, pork, poultry, wild-caught seafood, and more, shipped free from family farms. Get 20% off your first order at uswellnessmeats.com. I think Darren enjoys grilling and a glass of wine. Maybe we can get him some U.S. Wellness Meats. At some point, he will join us right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This summer sizzling traffic report is driven by local and veteran-owned Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Lots of good news on our roads right now, guys. No incidents, no accidents, and really very few brake lights. Definitely looking at Friday-like conditions. You know it's a good morning when westbound 52 is tolerable heading out of Santee. This summer, drive bold at Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa. The F-150 STX Super Crew is just $239 a month. Or how about the Bronco Big Bend Trail Rated Fun for $215 a month? For more details on these offers at Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa, visit sedanoford.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
You know, you don't have to segue every single thing, right?
I actually do. It's a condition.
It's like a disease.
My doctor says it's terminal. I will eventually die of segues some point.
So we used to do things Ben likes. Paulie, I'm sorry. It's time to start saving these segues for one big segue at the end of the year. It's absolutely. Darren likes meat. Coming up next. How are you, D. Smith?
Yeah, I'm excited, Ben, to taste your meat.
Taste your
obviously,
meat, yes.
Send us some meat over here. We love meat.
Oh, it's the greatest. It's literally now, D. Smith. You did this for a long time. Any habits that you remember of yours where you're like, I gotta stop. I just have to stop doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always tried to do that sort of stuff too, right? You're always just trying to join one thing to the next. I mean, we're always told in this business that, you know, you're just trying to get people to listen through whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Commercial traffic, what have you. So, like, of course, that's part of it. You know, I think I'm probably had a little bit of I had some bend to me in my game as well, and I was always trying to connect those kind of things. So I appreciated it. I thought it was funny.
I love it.
Oh, all right,
so good.
I get it. I'm hopeless. I know. All right, so Darren, it's game night. Game night for SDFC. Let's start there. Nashville coming to town. It's been a little bit of a tougher go. Heard Mikey Varas talking about again the limited roster. Now, the transfer window is open, but no help yet. What are you kind of hearing, and how will it impact kind of the lack of depth for tonight's game against Nashville?
Well, I think there might be one player added to the roster. So it is a 19-year-old defender named Aiden Harangi, who has been added to the roster. It is official. Everything else has just been rumored to this point. But, he's a kid, so I don't know if they're going to toss him right in there. Mikey kind of likes to do that. He's like, hey, if you're on the roster, you're going to go into the deep end of the pool. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see him tonight. I'm not quite sure what his status is, but I think they're just looking for some depth. I think they're pretty set with what they have designated player-wise with Chucky Lozano and with Anders. and they're looking for some guys that can help them practice. You know, you just said it, Ben. They don't have enough guys to practice out there 11 on 11 again, especially this week where 3 of those guys get called off to the All-Star game. So I think they're looking for some reinforcements. They've had some season-ending injuries to 2 or 3 different players. Another guy got sent out on loan. So I think they're looking for players who are there to provide a little bit of depth, but also guys that they're going to rely on. Let's look at some of the players that they're playing that they played most recently, especially defensively on the back line. They played the youngest back line in MLS history with a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old first-round draft pick, and another 19-year-old. So they're not afraid to do this, and I think they're going to bring in some guys here that are just going to shore up the roster, and I don't think they're going to be superstar caliber players, but necessary players. And Mikey has expertise and lots of experience coaching these kind of guys. So I think they're going to be impactful, and I think they're going to need them.
It's wild, man, because now, you got the trade deadline in baseball, and we need to add depth, and we need to add this, we need to add that. Same thing going on in the MLS. I'm assuming it's much, much different the way that they do it in MLS than they do in MLB, Darren.
Yeah. I mean, in MLB, it's all about, what are you looking for? What are you prioritizing? Here, it's sometimes about opportunity. It's about trying to find guys maybe that are slipping between the cracks in other clubs. But, think about how much wider the net is. The guy that I just mentioned there, Aiden Harangi, he's a young player who plays for the U.S. Youth National Team under 20s. He was playing in Germany. And they also are rumored to be bringing in a guy who plays in Philadelphia. So imagine, having an MLB trade deadline where you were literally trading with every baseball organization on planet Earth. And that's kind of what the MLS trade, or not trade, but the transfer window is all about. So, it's hard. It's really, really hard to know not just who's on all these rosters, who might be willing to move, who might be willing to change leagues, who might be willing to play in a different country, who might be willing to play in a different continent. All that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just multiplied by about 1,000. I don't know how these sporting directors, guys like Tyler Heaps, do it. It's hard enough to be AJ Preller. I mean, imagine what it's like having to know all these other players in all these other leagues all over the world. I mean, it's crazy talk.
All right, so I need a little soccer 101 from you, Darren, because after tonight's game, SDFC takes a little break from MLS play to enter the Leagues Cup, which is kind of a tournament for professional teams. I guess it would be like if the Major League Baseball took 2-week break and you played 3 games against teams from Japan in a tournament, but it's real games. They're not exhibition games, but not every team takes them 100% as seriously as they would their own league, but some take them really seriously. How do teams decide how important these non-league games are that are in the middle of their season?
So, well, you nailed it. I don't think you need me to help you on that. I think you said it well, but it does just come down to your priorities, and like SDFC is a great example. So, you're sitting on top of the Western Conference standings right now. And, your best opportunity, it feels to me like maybe the best opportunity to win something is to move forward and put all of your eggs in the basket of trying to win Major League Soccer games and go to the MLS playoffs in the best position possible, right? This is just an example. They haven't shared their strategy with me. But, for other clubs, they're like, well, I don't know. Maybe we're not going to be as successful in MLS as other clubs. So maybe this is our best opportunity to win something. For other teams, you play the U.S. Open Cup. Maybe that's somebody's best opportunity to win something. So, it's weird and it's overlapping and it's a foreign concept, but you do end up playing sometimes 2, 3, 4, maybe upwards of 3 different overlapping tournaments. And you just, everybody wants to win everything all the time. And if you're good enough for that and you have enough depth for that, great, go for it. But not everybody can say that. And so other teams prioritize certain tournaments just because they want to have some measurement of success by the end of the season. I think for SDFC, I don't know this. I think they're, I don't know that they're going to go all in on Leagues Cup, but I mean, we stand to be surprised when this tournament starts. So, I think that their priority is Major League Soccer, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Well, and at this time of year, Darren, look at me segueing. Our priority is Major League Baseball. And yes, the trade deadline rapidly approaching. You've had one kind of major move with Josh Naylor going up to Seattle. Again, you've known AJ Preller a long time. You know what he's, what his day looks like right now. And it's probably frantic and exhausting and, overwhelming at times. I know he's got a good team around him. I know he's done his homework. He wants to win. Do you get the sense, though? I said it earlier, like kicking tires on everyone, like he's kicking tires on everyone around the league. Does that ultimately hurt you instead of help you, instead of kind of focusing in on what exactly you need and going for it?
I don't know how it hurts. I think he's just always information gathering, right? I think even conversations, sometimes, when you listen back after AJ pulls the trigger on a trade, sometimes, you start hearing him say things like, well, this actually goes back to a conversation that we had last offseason, or this is a conversation that we had during spring training or whatever, last trade deadline. So, I think he's always just information gathering.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the guys that can actually compartmentalize it all. Like, not me. I would lose track of all that stuff, So, I do think that he's capable of being the type of person who can remember a conversation that he had in spring training with such and such a person about such and such a player. Or maybe he made a trade with a team. Maybe he knows a little bit about, like a Marlins player from a previous trade that he made with the Marlins.
Yeah.
Terms of how that general manager and president of baseball operation feels about Sandy Alcantara, right? So, I think he's really good at that. I actually do. I don't know. How do you think it hurts him though, that he's involved in all these conversations? I mean, it just gives everybody in the media like the easiest thing in the world to say, well, he's in on everybody. Like, yeah,
it really does. And maybe that's not the case. For me, it's like you have these needs that you've had now. Look, somebody didn't just go down with a hammy and, I got to replace my shortstop, right? Or like you've had these needs for these pressing needs, honestly, since opening day. And I'm honestly really surprised that the trigger hasn't been pulled on an earlier move this year. I really am. And I wonder if I'm not going to say it's a lack of focus. He's actually a really focused human being. I don't know, man. Like, kind of too many ingredients in the soup. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm
like calling the Pirates about Paul Skeens, that doesn't help get a left fielder,
right? Kicking the
catcher.
You've had these needs all season long. They haven't been addressed yet.
Paralysis by analysis.
Like, look what you want and go get it. Go get it.
But I think maybe again, and just maybe part of this is, did that remind you of Oasis? Maybe. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much. It was so fun.
Your trip looked amazing.
It was amazing.
I think part of this, maybe part of this is the uncertainty of King and Darvish. That you have limited resources and you have limited money, and everybody knows what's often said about the farm system. So, you might literally have to wait to have as much information as possible, at least while you're doing better than treading water, right? The team has been good. It's not been great.
Right.
It's been good. So, you're in a playoff position and you're hoping for certain things, but I don't know about you guys. It hurts me to watch that performance from Darvish yesterday because he is and has been my favorite pitcher on the staff.
Yep.
Respectfully, love Musgrove as well. And I just think you don't know, like it's just hard to know, what that future looks like for him down the stretch and how reliable he's going to be for you. He's going to give you everything he's got, but how many bullets does he have left in the gun? So, I don't want to sound like I'm in the bunker with AJ, but I do think also like there's some uncertainty here that you might have to address. And what happens if you use some of those resources to go out there and get Duran or whatever? And now all of a sudden, you need a starting pitcher. Or what if you need two starting pitchers? So I mean, maybe waiting until the last minute is sort of an information gathering is in the best interest, given some of the uncertainty on certain guys that we're looking at going, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this for the next 2 months.
Talking to Darren Smith here on Ben and Woods this morning. We're all going to do that. The trade's going to come out today or tomorrow, and we're going to go, we couldn't have done that. We couldn't have, we do it every single year. We had that to give. I mean, it really is it's an excruciating time of year to be a baseball fan and really a Padres fan. Yeah, it's exciting as hell. And there's never a shortage of information and moves and things like that to cover. In your opinion, what is the most pressing need right now for the San Diego Padres? A bat, and who is it? Is it Jarren Duran? Because I don't necessarily think it is.
I tend to think I'm looking at the pitching and, I tend to start there. I think you're not going to go anywhere if you don't have enough starting pitching to take you. So, I think getting somebody in there in some capacity, I don't know that it's got to be a front line number one, number two, but bringing somebody in there that at least you don't have to worry about every couple of days, to me feels like it's somewhat significant. I'm with you as well. I don't view catching as a huge priority. Yes, I'm still on brand with that, as I have been throughout the last 15 years or what have you. But getting a little bit of depth, getting a bona fide starting pitcher. I still think a player like Luis Robert is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
But it also presents a problem in how much money do you have to absorb, and can you absorb that kind of money? The reporting seems to indicate the Padres are going to have limited funds to spend here at the deadline, and if that's the case, then what do you have to do to get a player like this? So. I don't envy AJ Preller. I do think this is a little bit of a puzzle. But I like the idea of Durant. I do. I'd be lying if I said I watched him a ton, but he certainly seems capable to me. Or maybe you swing a little bigger and you go with the White Sox again. I don't mind that idea either. And then having a couple of Gold Glove caliber players out in the outfield, having potentially like 3 of those kind of players feels pretty appealing to me. So if you're gonna take a swing, why not take a big swing?
Ultimately, you can have your evaluations of every bat that's available. You want the guy who's going to get hot in the next couple of months. That could be Stephen Kwan. It could be Brian O'Hearn. It could be Luis Robert. And that's so unpredictable. And baseball is such a weird game. Woods, you wanted to ask him about AJ Hinch a little bit just quickly.
I tweeted it last night. The skid that they're on right now, Darren, they haven't changed. AJ Hinch. They haven't changed a thing. Like they didn't install a new offense or it just stopped working for 11 games. And I'm sure it's the most frustrating thing about this sport of ours that we love so much. The faucet just turns off, as I said.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're the manager, like, do you change just for the sake of changing?
Right.
Or, is that an indicator to the rest of the clubhouse that, Skipper's panicking. Something must be wrong in here, So like these baseball players, they all look at that. They're like, oh, is he starting to get a little tight? What's the story there?
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Just back to the trade for one quick second as you're rattling off the players. I think the other thing that's hard to figure out and really hard to navigate around is, who's going to be able to make a move in the middle of the season? It's not for everybody.
That's true.
Guys that change locations, right? We saw a little bit of this with Soto. We see this every year. You bring somebody in and it's like, oh, okay, now this guy's got to adjust to new hitting groups and a hitting coach. He doesn't know where he lives. He doesn't have his favorite clubby around. Like those things are challenging.
We talked about it with Greg Vaughn.
It's no guarantee,
and
right?
how he struggled when he came over from Milwaukee to the Padres in 1996.
No guarantee.
You don't really feel like you're a part of the team. You don't know whose clubhouse it is. Whose ecosystem is this? Who do I have to shut up? Whose music do we listen to?
Yeah.
So, all of that stuff
is
just a huge change. If you're an alpha in one clubhouse and now you're not the alpha in the next clubhouse. But going back to it, like they've been terrible since the All-Star break,
crazy
with the Tigers. And it's cliche, but it doesn't mean it's not true. You're also playing the long game, and that's why you banked all those wins early on in the season, so that you can go through every little stretch like this. Every team goes through them. Don't care who you are. Every single one of them goes through them at some point.
Thank you, brother.
Outro music's playing. Darren, appreciate it. Have a good broadcast tonight.
Friday Night Lights. See you guys.
Darren Smith, SDFC broadcaster. Again, Nashville SC tonight at 7:30. We will come back. We got 2 hours remaining this week, including our manager's report with Mike Schilt. Don't go away. It's Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with all of you guys. Still got a massive second half of the show coming up. You got Katie Wu at 8:35. You got the skipper, Mike Schilt, at 9 a.m. How is he navigating trade deadline season? Not probably his favorite time of year, I would imagine, as somebody that rides for his players pretty hard and likes the continuity of what they have, but probably can also agree that there's every team can use some help, right? So, we'll get to that with the skipper. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well.
Sorry, I was just texting Darren back. He was commenting that he gets lots of texts every time he comes on.
I love that.
With us, which I really I enjoy the fact that people enjoy Darren coming on our program.
Me and you both, buddy.
He's a terrific guest every week.
He is.
So I'm thanking him again.
Well, we're on the air,
answering
so
his
you can just wait
question.
maybe till the break, and then you can.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Got it. Very.
I wish I could text faster. My fingers are kind of short and stubby, and
Very-
my hands are small, and
Yeah,
just never been good at that.
you pick weird times, I think, to do it too. Sometimes.
We all have iPhones,
Yeah.
and we don't have Mac computers in here. We have PCs,
Right.
So it's a good thing. Imagine if you had iMessage on your work computers in here. Then you just makes it look like you're working. You're
It
just sitting
does.
there texting away.
But we have the YouTube chat, which can be a bit of a distraction as well
Uh-huh.
sometimes. But also a very it's like a gold mine of information sometimes from our beloved YouTube listeners. You can listen to us live on the radio, the Odyssey app certainly, and of course the YouTube feed as well. You get to see our faces and our reactions.
I consider the YouTube chat and appreciate however you consume this program on the radio, on the Odyssey app, however. But the YouTube chat, I consider almost like the fourth member of the show sometimes.
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
You know, because you can instantly chime in. It's why it's such a great way to consume Ben and Woods every morning, because you can like instantly talk to us. You can try like sending us a tweet, but I might not check that for a few minutes, or post something on Instagram that might be after the show. But on our YouTube stream, we see that always right away as it's kind of feeding through, which is great.
No, it's fantastic. It's been a great addition to the program. You get comments in real time. 95% of them are positive and fun and loose. Sometimes you don't.
That's why we like it.
That's why we like it. Yes, exactly. The agenda this weekend, Benjamin. You got some golf ahead of you.
I did. I got a surprise invitation.
Tell everybody about this
2-day tournament,
fancy tournament
at the Goat. Well, nothing's fancy at the Goat.
That's
You've been to
fair.
the Goat. It's not a fancy place. It's but it's a great place, and some of like the core members do this 2-day herdsman tournament, and I have never been able to play before. But
How come? It's invite
it's
only?
limited. Yeah, it's invite only. It's like match play, so there's only so many teams that are there, and they've been doing it for, I think this is the 8th year, and I've only been at the Goat for 3 years, so I think I was a little down the waiting list, but they had a cancellation. I got in, so definitely going to be playing, I think, 5 9-hole matches the next 2 days. I'm looking forward to that.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Paulie, we have a tier 1 game on Sunday at 1:00.
Tier 1 game. We have a member stream tonight.
Yes,
So
member stream.
I'll be doing that right after the game, watching some Padres all weekend, and just getting a bunch of cleaning and chores done. Summer cleaning.
I've got a pack for Hawaii. I don't really have a suitcase yet, so I'm on the I'll be calling British Airways as soon as I get out of here, trying to locate this bag. It's been a nightmare to go through it, but listen, perspective is feels so bad for me. Lost my bag. They lost my bag. I still don't understand.
On your first class flight from London
to London,
and you need that bag to pack for Hawaii for 10 days. What are you gonna do?
Cry me a river, Woodsy. Cry me a river. It is true, man. We talked yesterday. My wife and I went to marriage counseling yesterday, and part of the topics of conversation was how stressed you get when you're going on vacation. And I marvel at her and her ability to. I came back from England. And I walked in and I noticed everything was packed already. This is Monday. So a full week in advance, the kids' backpacks are packed. Her bag is packed. The kids' stuff is packed. I'm the last one, that needs to actually get ready for this trip. Now, I'll pack the night before because that's what I always do. And it makes her insane. But I don't like to live out of a suitcase for a week when I'm going on vacation. But we actually sat in there and talked about how stressful it is when you go on vacation, especially with little kids. And then when you get there, you're like, oh God, is everyone having a fun time? I told her, don't plan anything. I don't need, we don't need to plan big boat rides and zip lining. Like, let's just go and try to relax.
But why
that backfires?
Why would you avoid those things? Are they anxiety inducing?
What do you mean? Like planning things?
Planning.
I just don't like to have things planned out in that particular location.
What's Hannah? And I don't know if she's in the chat right now, but what's the trip anxiety? Because my wife gets trip anxiety as well.
Well, it's packing. It's
right. But what's the worst thing that can happen? If you forget something?
So that's what our therapist said.
Yeah.
So, but essentially too, we are leaving our house and we have a house sitter for the first time ever. We got 4 cats. And somebody's going to come stay in our house. So she's got to get everything, every little detail dialed. I'm more of we have a babysitter. I'm more of the guy that says, keep them alive. Don't burn the house down. Other than that, I don't care what
show.
you guys, it's your show.
Yeah.
You do it. I'm not going to leave you a big list of instructions. Like, keep the house standing and keep my children alive and unharmed. And that's really the only job.
So I can't tell you how I did it, but I was an anxious little boy. Well, growing up, I had a lot of anxiety about school, friends, teachers, homework, everything. Just like I was just anxious and nervous about just about everything. And at some point, I just decided I don't like dealing with anxiety anymore. So now I'm kind of almost too laissez-faire when it comes. Things are going to be okay. Things will work out the way they should. And if they don't, then I'll just react to that and deal with it and stick my head down, and I will get through whatever's next. And I try not to pre-worry about stuff. There's plenty of stuff to actually worry about after it happens. So I try not to pre-worry about stuff too much.
Are you familiar with the concept of Stoicism?
Yes.
Marcus Aurelius, right? So I'm reading this book from Marcus Aurelius here. It is called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
It's an old book.
It's very, very old. And you're right. In it, he talks about worrying is like the dumbest thing you can do. I mean, I get so pre-worried about things and I'm worried about Bo driving. Bo's 7. I've got 9 years until I have to worry about it. But I lay in bed at night and go, I'm so terrified of when he starts to drive, right? I'm terrified of it. Like, I'm worried, what his senior year in high school is going to look like. And it doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely unnecessary to do it. And that's what I'm working on, is trying to find the more of the inner peace, the less anxiety and worrying about things like that. But you also can't tell your wife, hey, what are you worried about? We learned yesterday, Benny, we're never going to be the type of couple that says, hey, we're going on vacation, just throw some stuff in a bag. We're not that couple. And you know what? That's okay. Like, we have to be accepting of who we are and lean into it a little bit. I liked that.
Just, that you and Hannah, you're never going to be the people who are complete chaos and leaving stuff to the last minute. So trust that you have pretty good judgment.
Trust the process.
You will use that judgment. You will get packed. You will be ready. And occasionally you will be wrong and you'll forget something and you'll miss something and you will then fix it. You'll just put your nose down and you will hit the grindstone and you will correct whatever mistake that you made. That's how I try to approach things and not worry about them too much. Speaking of Woods worrying, segue, Woods is already worried about our manager's report with Mike Schill.
I'm not worried.
No, you're always a little bit worried.
No, I have fun.
Mike Schill.
I have fun with Schill. You don't project that BS onto me. I feel great. You're the one that starts stumbling around. I feel great.
Oh, I get nervous about things. I'm not worried about it. I mean, could it go horribly wrong? Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Could it be fantastic?
We will deal with it either way. It's refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. That's coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, so 50 minutes from now. Before that, though, at the bottom of the hour, we will be joined by our friend Catherine Wu, Katie Wu, who covers the St. Louis Cardinals for The Athletic and is in St. Louis, where it is very, very hot. They're talking about the corn sweat. I saw an ABC News story about the corn sweat this morning. It's going to be very unpleasant again today for the Padres and the Cardinals for a 4:15 start here on the West Coast.
It looked so miserably uncomfortable yesterday. I mean, it really did. And you saw there were a couple hits to the outfield that on a normal 75-degree day, left fielder gets over, makes that play no problem. I mean, everyone was dragging, and you could see it. Saw Louis hit that double. He slid into second base. He stood up, and he gave like the they're just worn out.
Even that Fernando
heat.
looked awkward on that play that he overran and kind of had to go back and like, oh, okay.
It messes with you. It messes with you on a cellular level, like a cellular level. It is not just, woo, it's warm out here. It messes with your brain. Who's the left fielder for the Cardinals? Who was it?
Yesterday?
It was like a shot, and it was like a 10 hopper into the gap, but he easily gets that on a 65, 70-degree day, and it scooted all the way to the wall. Burleson. And you're looking at these guys going, they're dying. I mean, they are dying out there. It looks so bad.
It was like my body temperature was rising just watching the game.
No question.
I can not even imagine how cash there, and this is game 1 of 4.
I know, man. I know, but hey, it's part of the gig. It's they know it coming in, and it was an interesting one to be sure. A lot of offense last night. Certainly like to see that trend continue, and that again against a guy that you had not had much success off at all. Great to see Manny go deep. Great to see Manny get a few hits. Great to see Toddy go deep last night. So listen, you keep that momentum going. I think we'll be okay.
Manny actually made the argument. He feels like the offense has clicked a little bit. Now they had some games where they only scored like 2.
Yeah.
But he feels like for the most part this week, coming out of the All-Star break, they're starting to figure things out. I liked the move by Mike Schilt to get Jackson Merrill back into the cleanup spot, up in the order. He's swinging the bat better. I mean, he had a long stretch there where he was just chasing and flailing at those high pitches, fastballs above the zone. Jackson looks a lot more comfortable now. The only thing we haven't quite seen yet is the power. Had a couple that he thought he got and just weren't able to carry out in Miami, but he certainly feels like the best top 4 now is very clear. It's Tatis, Arise, Machado, and Merrill. And then after that, Bogarts has been pretty good as well, and that's why we saw Sheets now, who has been struggling. We don't talk about it a lot because he's been really good, and he's had so many big hits for the Padres, and he's so exceeded our expectations. But Gavin Sheets has been struggling now. It's been a few weeks that he hasn't quite been the same offensive force, which further contracts the Padres lineup that already wasn't very deep. And now you're going like, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, if Jake and Gavin don't do much, you really have a very, very empty bottom of your order where you're not getting a lot of production.
Yeah, you're toast. You're absolutely toast. And again, that's
a good
definitely
point, man.
Yeah,
we've put so much pressure on the Stars, rightfully so.
Sure.
They're the stars. They're the ones
yeah.
that are making the big money. But man, like with Sheets and Crony, if they both don't have great games, all of a sudden that black hole at the bottom of your lineup is like over half of your lineup.
Yeah, no question. Just need a little bit more balance in it. I if I'm the skipper, I don't know. And people talk every night about rejiggering the lineup. I don't know. I just really don't know unless you. I don't know what the answer is.
If it works, great.
You're certainly not going to slide, a Jackson Merrill back down in the order. Like some of the swings he's taken are much, much better. I just don't know the best way to balance that lineup on a daily basis with the guys that you have at the bottom. I just don't know. And I don't want to put all of the onus for our struggles on them because every single player in that lineup, really outside of Manny, has scuffled pretty badly this season at some point.
And I see talk in the chat about Jake, and Jake should never have gotten that 7-year extension. Jordan says teams around the league view Jake's contract now as
a bargain. I saw it today in AC's article.
Yeah, they're viewing that he is an attractive piece because at $11 million or whatever he's making, that's considered a pretty good deal for an everyday guy who can play both second and first base, who gets on base, who still has a .341 on base percentage. They look and go, yeah, I'll pay that happily for the next 3 years, and I will send you something in return for Jake Cronenworth. It's not that the Padres can't get rid of Jake Cronenworth. It's that they don't have anyone to replace him if they do, and he's that valuable as well to the San Diego Padres. So, yeah, the Jake slander's just off now. I mean, is he a superstar? No. But he is a valuable team member. He gets enough done that at the 6, 7 slot in the order, there's tons of teams in baseball. Most teams in baseball would be happy now to take Jake Cronenworth on their team.
Yeah, he's valuable.
I guess with him, like, I mean, you see some of the comments in the chat right now. Like, I wouldn't say he's worthless at all. I think he's got a lot of value to this team. Is his value right around the highest it can be, though? Like, if you're looking to move anybody, like, it makes more sense to trade him now than it does next year, or even a year after that. Like, if you find the right deal, and sounds like teams are interested, now might be the time to make that move.
Again,
I think there's one reason you consider trading Jake right now. 31. That's his age.
Yep.
It'd be 32 later this year in December. Probably he's hit his prime. He was always an older kind of prospect, even when the Padres got him. And you can see where there's probably not another step up coming for Jake. Maybe he can hold on to this for the next couple of years and be a valuable piece. But this would be an opportunity when you thought, do we want to be locked into a guy who's going to be 32 in 2026, 33, 34, 35, and then I think 36 in the last year of his contract?
Yep.
Sell high.
Maybe not. This would be a time potentially to sell high. You just don't have a lot to replace him.
We don't see that very often here in San Diego. And I don't know, maybe that's just trend across baseball. Guys teams selling high on players. We certainly don't see it very often here. It feels like maybe last year was the time to trade so-and-so. We say it all the time. It feels like here with Preller. So maybe that would be and I'm not like advocating to trade Jake. I'm just saying in general, I like when you trade high.
It's the Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Trade a guy a year before rather than a year too late. Sort of heartless move.
That's cold.
That you don't.
Hannah's in the chat. She said, Jesus, Ben, I'm 35. Am I worthless? Yeah, apparently, according to Ben Higgins' metrics, my wife Hannah you're completely washed at 35.
A woman's place is in the kitchen.
I mean, there it is. It's right there in plain chapter and verse, Hannah. I hope you heard that. Washed at 35.
Jesus, Ben.
That's so hardcore. That's my wife you're talking about.
I heard she made spaghetti last night.
She did, and she crushed it.
There's worth there.
It was great. Let her cook. The WNBA, I mean.
Yeah. In the WNBA
Let her
sense.
cook in the WNBA sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always add that.
Yeah. Washed at 35.
All right, we need to go get moving because we got Katie Wu. We got to play Take on Woods. If you want to be our contestant, call now 833-288-0973. Chance to qualify for Las Vegas, our musical trivia challenge coming up next. 833-288-0973. Back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I want to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. I was actually talking about it last night with one of my coworkers and saying, so do you still like do the program after 2 years? And I said, I don't really do the program. I lost the weight in 2 months, and then they helped me with maintenance as I kind of transitioned. And now it's just a kind of a natural thing for me. It's just my new lifestyle. I'm able to keep the weight off much easier than it was. And it really wasn't that bad, even losing the weight as well. They said, was it really hard? I go, I don't know. You lost 40 pounds in 2 months. Just getting on the scale was plenty of motivation to see the weight come off every single day. That can happen for you as well. Set up your free consultation right now at SDFatLoss.com. Take advantage of the huge summer sale. Get almost 20% off their lowest prices of the year right now. Start the program immediately, or they can even set you up to after a little summer break when the kids go back to school. Either way, but why not set it up now? Lock in the great prices. You don't have to buy anything else like meals or injections or anything. These are expensive. And when you stop taking them, generally the weight comes right back on. This is sustainable weight loss. I've done it. So many tier ones have had success with SDFatLoss.com. All you have to do, set up the free consultation. They'll explain how it works by going to SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, we got to get going. We got Katie Wu coming up at the bottom of the hour, so we waste no time. Let's get right to it. The Friday edition of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we got Matt today as our contestant. Matt, are you ready to take on Woods?
Ready to play. Good morning.
All right, good morning to you. If you can beat or tie Woods in our 5 questions of musical trivia, you know you will be in the grand prize drawing for our 2-night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas. 2 tickets to Motley Crue on September 19th and a $100 gas card. Get your own tickets to Motley Crue's Las Vegas residency at Ticketmaster.com. Give you a little advantage. Woods has now left the building. Let you pick the category. We've got Mothers and Fathers, 5 song titles that include either mother or father in the title. Not on Any Map, 5 song titles with fictional places in them. And In a Better Place, we've got 5 song titles and artists, including the word better. So Mothers and Fathers, Not on Any Map, or In a Better Place. Matt, what'll it be?
Let's do In a Better Place.
Go with the new category. Okay, In a Better Place. This category takes us to a better place with 5 song titles and artists that include the word better. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you don't know, you can say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie is queuing it up now. You'll need to give me both the song title and the artist, one of which contains the word better, to score that point. Matt, are you ready to play?
Ready.
All right, let's do it. 60 seconds on the clock. The category is In a Better Place. Matt, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Pearl Jam, Better Man.
Correct. Which Louisiana rock band's biggest hit was 1995's Good?
Better than Ezra.
Correct. Canadian Shawn Mendes hit the top 10 with which single about an abusive relationship from his 2016 album?
Pass.
One of the most iconic James Bond themes is which song performed by Carly Simon for 1977's The Spy Who Loved Me?
Pass.
Post Malone is best known for his raps, but which 2018 top 10 single earned him a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Performance?
Better than me?
Incorrect. Canadian Shawn Mendes hit the top 10 with which single about an abusive relationship from his 2016 album?
Quickly.
Better than. Better than me.
No, that's incorrect, but good guess. I like your guesses. They didn't include the word taint, which gives you a better chance of being correct. Got tough. That category got real tough. Treat You Better is Shawn Mendes. I doubt Woods gets that one. Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon. I think that's going to decide this game. Better Now by Post Malone, 2018. Yeah, he's probably heard them all, but does he know the titles of them is the question. All right, Matt's score is locked in. Woodsy, without the benefit of the category, now gets his 60 seconds to go. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Matt.
That's Better Man by Pearl Jam.
Correct. Which Louisiana rock band's biggest hit was 1995's Good?
Better Than Ezra.
Correct. Canadian Shawn Mendes hit the top 10 with which single about an abusive relationship from his 2016 album?
Pass.
One of the most iconic James Bond themes is which song performed by Carly Simon for 1977's The Spy Who Loved Me?
Nobody Does It Better.
Correct. Post Malone is best known for his raps, but which 2018 top 10 single earned him a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Performance?
Damn it.
The newer ones can be tougher for you.
Mostly the Post Malone ones can be tougher for me. Better Than Me.
Yeah, not a bad guess. Incorrect. Canadian
right.
Shawn Mendes hit the top 10 with which single about an abusive relationship from his 2016 album?
Better Than You.
All right, you kind of played the same game.
Did
you
we?
did win. You beat Matt 3-2.
Oh.
Nobody Does It Better, as I suspected, was the difference. Treat You Better by Shawn Mendes
Okay.
and Better Now.
Better. Oh, I
by
like that
Post
song. That was a pretty
Malone.
good song.
See,
Yeah.
I thought you knew
I
the
kinda
song.
like that.
I just didn't know.
Better Now.
I
Yeah.
just didn't know if you'd know the title or not.
Damn it.
Matt, thank you for playing. Came up a little bit short today, but an entertaining game of Take on Woods. We will take a quick time out.
And in music news, number one on the college charts this summer was Better Than Ezra. And at number two, Ezra.
One of the greatest weekend update lines
It's so
from
good.
the legendary
Oh,
Norm Macdonald.
that's
Rest in
so
peace.
Good. I love that.
Katie
so
Wu
much.
will join us talking Cardinals Padres from St. Louis up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Before we get to our beloved Katie Wu, let me tell you about my beloved Manny Sedano and Sedano Ford. They got great deals for you right now. Listen, man, they're going to take good care of you this summer. Their hot summer sale is currently happening as we speak. If you got a buck, you can get a truck. You can lease the all-electric 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning XLT, just $1 down, $327 a month. Built tough, loaded with smart tech, ready to work. It is fantastic seeing them everywhere right now. The F-150 STX Super Crew as well, a classic, just $239 a month. And of course, the very beautiful 2025 Bronco Big Ben. It is trail rated, top down, summer ready for just $215 a month. So if you're around this weekend, good time to go take a look at some new vehicles. Go to Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Stop by the dealership. Let them know Woodsy sent you when you walk in the door, please. And for more details, if you want to check out their inventory and get things started, you can actually get the process started right now at sedanoford.com. Again, let them know I sent you over there. They're going to take good care of you, as they have been taking care of Tier 1s for the last couple of years, man. Check them out again, sedanoford.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I've got some Padres, Cardinals, and trade deadline talk coming up with Katie Wu from The Athletic. 97.3 The Fans coverage of the MLB trade deadline is brought to you by Palomar Health, champions of healthcare, champions for you. And we will head out to hot, sticky St. Louis coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Well, guys, we were doing so good. What is this? Of course, we got to have a ladder in middle lanes. Eastbound 8 at the 15. Also, southbound 5 just past Old Town. Reports of a stalled vehicle partially in the slow lane. And now we got a crash northbound 805 just before Nobel. A couple vehicles involved. Looks like they are both in the center divide. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So we had a very short debate the other day. Should we have Katie Wu on when the Padres are in St. Louis this week, or should we have her on next week when the Padres take on St. Louis and she'll be here in San Diego? And we quickly came to the decision,
both.
Let's just do both.
Both.
How about on the phone now and then in studio next week?
Yes.
So in the first of hopefully 2 appearances on the program, we welcome Katie Wu back with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Katie.
Guys, good morning. It's been so long, but I'm thrilled to talk to you guys. Miss you all. How are you?
We miss you too. We're all doing fantastically, and you know, obviously, we agreed earlier we would have rubbed it in had we won that game last night. So we expect you to rub it in that Sonny Gray went out, gave up a ton of runs, and still beat the San Diego Padres. Katie, it was a hot one last night. Certainly. How do you deal with that when you're there?
I complain a lot, which I'm sure is a shocker to you guys.
Me too. I do too.
Right. No, it's people say that when you get here, you adjust to it. And in a way, it's somewhat true, but it's also not. It's also not. No one likes this. No one likes to go outside and be slapped in the face with hot air every day. So, Yeah, it's fine. It's St. Louis. It's baseball heaven. What more could you ask for?
Baseball heaven. Oh, God, they've indoctrinated you.
Even Jesse Agler was complaining about it
Yeah,
on the radio
and
last night. Jesse doesn't
he
complain
does
about
not
anything.
complain
but,
about stuff.
It was hot.
Man, it was.
Yeah, they didn't look like super happy when I saw the broadcasters. It was really nice, and Jesse just kind of looked over it. He was like, "Why am I here?" I could read the disdain on his face.
It's so good. Ben made the really kind of funny point yesterday when we did the Padres roundtable that the Cardinals. There's probably, they'd never admit it, but there's probably a part of them that are like, in the front office, they're like, stop winning games. At this point, we know what we want to do, but we can't really sell to the fan base. Oh, we're still in it. We just beat, a team in front of us for the wild card. We need you to stop winning games so we can sell off some pieces. Is that valid?
That is what I think a normal organization would do. But the Cardinals have yet to declare what their trade deadline intentions are, whether they're going to sell or hold. Buying at this point is pretty much off the table. But to me, that decision was kind of solidified when they went 1-5 coming out of the break. They were swept by the Diamondbacks and then dropped 2 of 3 to the Rockies. They were shut out by the Rockies. Guys, that hadn't happened in 220 games. But, the Cardinals did that. So I was under the impression that, the Cardinals would start maybe their soft sell-off yesterday. Then they go in and they beat the Padres. And I don't think that one game is going to switch their plans, whether they are discussing them internally or not. It looks to me the Cardinals should be sellers, but with just how tight this National League is, and the Cardinals have this insane desire and pressure to win every season, even on seasons where they take a step back like this year, you can never be too sure. So I know that they are listening on a lot of their rental relievers, Ryan Helsley, Phil Maton, Steven Matz. But that's about it. That's about the extent of what I've heard and what they're willing to do this deadline. So I'm still not sure what the plan is. Maybe they aren't either. John Mozeliak, their president of baseball operations, said that he's willing to go down to the final 72 hours before making a decision. So I guess he'll just sit here and wait patiently.
I would think, though, that the Cardinals probably like where they're positioned for the future with some of the young players that they've got that are starting to get their feet wet on the big league level. How quick of a kind of a rebuild back to contention do they think this is going to be, Katie?
Yeah, that's a great question when you think about the Cardinals, who never really rebuild in the first place. In fact, they refuse to call it one, even though it is. So they've used different various words of reset, transition, bridge year, anything but rebuild in St. Louis. But let's be honest, that's what they're doing. It's a soft rebuild. And they don't seem to be too far away from the position playing standpoint. Brendan Donovan is a stud. Ivan Herrera can swing it. They like what they have in Mason Winn at shortstop. They also have a really solid shortstop prospect in J.J. Weatherholt in AAA right now. So there are different position players that suggest that this rebuild won't be super long. But you look at the pitching side, and that's the glaring weakness for St. Louis. They have an entire staff that's a pitch-to-contact staff. It has not gone well for them in July. All of their starters, with the exception of Michael McGreevy, who just joined the rotation last week, posted a collective ERA of over 7 in July. So that's not really going to do it. And then you look in AAA, and there is virtually zero depth there as well. So it's really hard to gauge where the Cardinals are in their rebuild because you're only as good as your starting rotation. And come next year, it's really unclear on what that starting rotation will look like.
And what's their Brian Helsley, I guess after the game last night, came out, Katie, and said, it's about 90% I go, 10% I stay. Sounds like he knows the writing's on the wall. And they're talking about this. You mentioned it in your article. Could have gotten more for him in the offseason. We heard the rumors of Arenado. Mozeliak openly said, yeah, we'll move Nolan. Why the change? Is it simply the wins in the ledger, or has there been kind of an organizational thought of, this is a guy we really want to keep. We've signed him. Let's keep him here.
I think it's more that he's difficult to move. Full no trade clause. Nolan Arenado wants to compete and play for a contender. And he hasn't done a solid job. I mean, he's been a fantastic third baseman defensively, but you look at that OPS, it's under 700. He hasn't homered in over a month. And at this point, teams want someone that's going to produce offensively. You look at teams like the Yankees. We know they want a third baseman, but they want a third baseman that can hit. So it's been hard to move Nolan, who has, as we know, over the offseason, will exercise that no trade clause if he's not sure of a situation. They wanted to hold on to Helsley coming into the year because they thought even in their little soft rebuild era, that they would be able to compete. And you know what? In the first half, they weren't wrong about that. The Cardinals were up to 9 games over 500. And then the rotation started to crack, and the Cardinals are missing Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, 2 huge lefty bats for them. And it just kind of felt like they hit their slide at the worst possible time. You add that to the Cubs being the Cubs. They've been fantastic this year. And the Brewers and the Reds getting hot right when the Cardinals were not. So now it's back to the drawing board with all of the names that we heard in the offseason about being possibly traded, whether that's Arenado, if they can move him. Helsley, like you said, pretty likely that he's going to go. It's just a matter of when. Same with Phil Maton, same with Steven Matz, and maybe even Sonny Gray if they can get him to waive his no-trade clause. So it's unclear, again, to which extent the Cardinals will sell, if they even will do so other than their rental relievers. But it's just such a weird time in Cardinals land, guys. It's the messaging changes every week. Some days they're all in it to win it. Some days it's about 26 and beyond. They have basically 2 president of baseball operations. Everything about this is complicated. So that's been really fun, I think, for me to watch.
Talking to Katie Wu, covering the Cardinals for The Athletic. And Katie, you're actually batting just ahead of Mike Schilt in our lineup today. Should get some good pitches to hit.
Yeah.
With Schilte coming on right after you here in about 12 minutes. I know some of the reporters, as they always do, went and talked to him yesterday, returning to St. Louis. It's been, like 3 years since they let him go. And I'm wondering, what's the fan kind of sense after this time? With an up and down from Ollie Marmol, is there kind of a pining for the good old days of Mike Schilt? Is it just in the rearview mirror and no one thinks about it? Is there still talk about Mike Schilt 3 years later in St. Louis?
They still talk about Mike Schilt in St. Louis, and that is because when Mike Schilt was let go, yes, 2022 was a fantastic year for the Cardinals, but ever since that, things have kind of just fallen apart. And I don't think that's fair to blame that entirely on whoever is managing the team, and I would have said that even if Schilt was managing the team. What the Cardinals are dealing with is an organizational reset that they need, and that comes from all the way up from ownership. But the fans, and you know how this is, you hate your manager until he's gone. And now that Schilt's gone, it's a lot of pining for the good old days, like you said. And it doesn't help that Mike Schilt was let go under such mysterious circumstances where we're still not quite sure the full story there. It didn't exactly bode well for a clean slate for Ollie Marmol, who comes in under a ton of skepticism because the organization was so vague as to why Schilt was let go. It's hard. Mike Schilt was someone who came up through the organization, was basically a Cardinals lifer, and then is just kind of let go right after a 17-game win streak in 2021 and takes a team that probably shouldn't have made the playoffs to the playoffs. But the Cardinals' gripes, I think, span much farther than whoever is managing the team these days. There's a lot of fatigue around the Cardinals in baseball heaven, if you will, which is a strange sentiment to experience. I know you guys saw the stadium yesterday. I know it was ungodly hot, but the Colorado Rockies are outdrawing the Cardinals from an attendance standpoint this year.
Wow.
So I don't really think it matters who the manager is, who the manager was. I think Cardinals fans are just ready for a new regime. They won't get that until the offseason, but it is crazy to see baseball or Busch Stadium kind of look like a baseball ghost town.
I had no idea. That's unbelievable information from Katie Wu this morning. And I did see somebody tweet earlier, one of Padres fans. It was a side-by-side of Miles Michaelis, who's going to be on the bump today for the Cardinals, and Nick Pivetta. 2 vastly different seasons. And basically they said, look, I don't want to be dramatic, but if the Padres don't beat Miles Michaelis today with Nick Pivetta on the mound, it's time to sell off everything. So the pressure is certainly on. I'm not going to tell Schilte that when we have him on next, because he knows that. I think at the back of his mind, Miles Michaelis, he's been getting roughed up. And the Padres, though, Katie, have been the get right team. The guy that comes in 4 bad starts and they're like, oh, I just figured it out. It's happened a bunch. Hopefully, for our sake, it doesn't happen today, but should be an interesting one out at Busch Stadium today. A sparsely attended one today as well.
It will be. Well, I don't know, because Flo Rida is the post-game concert.
All right. Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that.
So maybe that's a draw. It's why I'm going to work today. So we'll see.
What's the set list look like?
Low.
Well, I think I only know 3 songs.
Yeah.
So if he just plays low 3 times, that's a great concert.
It happened to Paulie. Baja Man just stayed out in the outfield and played
Back
Who
in
Let the Dogs Out the whole show. The whole game they did it.
It was an in-game concert.
The whole time.
By the second inning, it was Who Let the Cats Out?
I will miss you when you come to town next week. I'm going to be in Hawaii. Yeah, with the family, no big deal. But I know the fellas would like to have you in if you're available.
And Woods may be on the other end of the line.
I may be.
He's
yeah.
taking the equipment. He's going to be doing the show at 2:30 a.m. Hawaii time. So
that's how committed I am.
Woodsy, I'll let it slide because Hannah and the boys, but I'm disappointed in you. I
Listen,
really am.
I'm being dragged against my will to
He did like
to
3
Honolulu.
shows in between vacations.
Leave me alone. Have a great game tonight, and then the boys will take good care of you when you get here next week, hopefully.
You got it, guys. I always look forward to seeing you all. So hopefully we're all in good spirits after the trade deadline. I see one team going one way, one team going the other.
Yeah, I hope it's ours going up. But
by the way, about 72 degrees here in San Diego today. Just something to look
you think I'm
forward
not
to.
studying that weather app
Just
every day?
perfect.
Every day I open it and I'm like, when am I in San Diego and when am I out of this? Whatever. No human should live like this. It's fine.
I always think
I'm
that
not
the
mad,
Padres
guys.
should just
I'm not
offer
upset.
the opposing teams. Would you like to come and play in San Diego instead of the road series? We'd be happy to have you for an extra couple of days in Petco Park. Thank you, Katie.
You got it, guys. Let's talk soon.
Katie Wu from The Athletic. Always one of our fun conversations.
The GOAT.
She's
amazing.
She gets it. She's
so
easy to
good.
talk to.
So good.
She knows her baseball like just no one.
Smokes.
And, I mean,
smokes everybody.
And she's
So
really,
good.
as some people pointed out in the chat, she's really honest about her team, which is, is a great quality for a reporter.
No question.
Makes me think that they think we're not being honest about the Padres. I think we are pretty honest as well about the San Diego Padres.
Get the rag, Paulie.
I'm not saying anything. I didn't say anything.
I love the one, then the two, then the half. It laid me out. That's when he really gets going. When he just goes crazy getting after it. She's awesome.
Do you want me to give you the most? I mean, Paulie could just play it for the rest of the 30 seconds here. On this road trip, Padres run differentials +8.
No, we must be killing it then. We must be killing it on this road trip then. The Littlewood murders. I dare you to incorporate it into our interview with Mike Schultz coming up next.
A mouse like sticking its head out of the hole. Just
What was that?
Oh, it's so good.
All right, manager's report. Yes, we will stay in St. Louis and head over to Mike Schultz's office at Busch Stadium coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. for the week. Looking forward to a nice weekend coming up here in beautiful San Diego, where it's 72 degrees. But as we know, it's a little hotter in St. Louis, where we are heading back out right now for our manager's report with Mike Schild. It is refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. And as we welcome Mike Schild to the program, we just had Katie Wu on with us, and I thought she said something that is very true, Skip. He said, fans always are critical of the manager when he's there, and then when he's gone,
they miss him.
They miss him a lot. And she said, yeah, there's a lot of that in St. Louis. They talk about Schulte. They miss him. Do you feel the love when you go back to St. Louis?
I actually felt it when I was there, too.
Good.
And, yeah, I mean, it's a very knowledgeable, passionate, historic fan base that, very rightfully takes their team very seriously, historic organization. And I was treated like gold. And, since I've left, that connection with a lot of people in the organization, but also just the fan base in general. And I see Cardinal fans all over the place, whether it's, different ballparks or obviously here, but even just in my travels, sometimes, people are just always really supportive and kind. So it means a lot.
Schulte, she also said in St. Louis right now, with everything that's kind of going on, that there's a little bit of Cardinal fatigue. And I thought to myself, I know that's been in San Diego before. It's certainly not here now. I mean, Petco Park, regardless of temperature or day of the week, is pretty full to the gills right now. And I know that means a lot to you guys and the team as well. But does that surprise you that Cardinal fans are just like, all right, we got to get this thing figured out. We got to get it figured out quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's, it's a hard question to really answer. I mean, there's probably a lot of things that go into fan base loyalty and support, and I just know I'm very grateful for what we have in San Diego, and I think it's the best thing going in the league right now. As far as the atmosphere and the passion, enthusiasm, and support for the Padres.
We are now, of course, 6 days away from the trade deadline. From your perspective, obviously, you're waiting to hear on any moves if they're made. But how does a manager deal with the clubhouse, during this week when it's got to be stressful for some players who hear their name and rumors? They try not to. I know they try to ignore it and just get down to business, but they're human beings at the end of the day, and that's stressful for families when they hear their names come up in rumors. How do you deal with that as a manager?
I think we got guys with our head on their shoulders and are professional, and I'm sure there's. I mean, you just kind of encourage guys and make sure they know, hey, man, we're here together, and let's go play baseball. These guys, I would like to think, know if they got something on their hearts that are really bothering them that they need to get off, that they feel comfortable and confident that'll be heard and valued. So. Anyway, it's you just try to continue to create that environment that says, hey, let's go play baseball and let's enjoy each other and focus on what we can control, and that's today's game.
Talking to the skipper, Mike Schild, here on Ben and Woods this morning, and Darvish is like all of our favorite pitchers. We love you. We respect him so much. Respect everything about him. Watching him scuffle a little bit last night, leaving some balls up, very hittable pitches. For you, did you see anything last night in Darvish's? Because he looked pretty good and looked like he was building, towards getting back to being the dominant pitcher that he can be. For you, the skipper, last night, what did you see out of you, and what's your level of concern about him?
You kind of nailed it. We saw some really good things. We're seeing some positives, and he was able to get to 2 strikes a couple times. The walk to Scott with 2 outs. I mean, he could still get a hit. Obviously, got one later, but that walk opened up the 6-run inning. I just saw the spin good. The fastball execution and spin with 2 strikes just wasn't there as well as he would have liked, and made some pitches that they were able to put some, have good swings on. So, Contreras is first at bat, and it's just a matter of the consistency of quality of execution, and then that's the key to all the guys, and he just was able to execute, but the times he didn't, there was some traffic, and they made him pay.
Is it for a guy like you, Darvish, obviously, after coming back from injury, and is it more important today how he feels when he wakes up than the actual results of the game last night? Like, are you feeling good? Is your head right and all that? Because that's it's pretty jarring to watch as a fan. I know it's pretty jarring to watch for you, Darvish, giving up 2 3-run homers with 2 outs. It got to be tough for a guy like that.
Yeah, I think it's more about how he physically feels. I mean, clearly he's, and I won't speak for you, but you cares tremendously about this organization and his teammates. He wants to do well, for that group as much as he wants to do well for himself. I really truly believe that. This guy does have 203 professional wins.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's mentally going to be able to come back from it. So it's really just how physically he's able to recover and feel. That's one of the reasons that he is Hugh Darvish, because he has been able to withstand the trials and tribulations that are a challenge at this level, regardless of here or Japan's big league level, and he's clearly been able to do that.
Mike, as for the offense, obviously good signs yesterday, a bunch of hits. Manny and Tatis both going out of the yard. And Manny said after the game, he feels like the offense starting to click a little bit more, but at the same time, there's still always those games, and I know you say a lot how difficult hitting is, and I totally understand that, but a lot of games with, the 2 runs, the 1 run that have continued throughout the season. And we had our roundtable yesterday, and we all agreed, like, we're kind of surprised. You see Tatis, Manny, all-stars, how good a season Sheets has had. Merrill's done really good things. Jake's had a good year. A rise is a rise. We look at this and we think this should be a top 10 offense in the league, and yet metrically it kind of is in the bottom 10 all year. Does that surprise you? And have you been able to put your kind of finger on, now that we're over 100 games in, where it's just not completely getting to where you want it to be?
Yeah, I think it all makes sense. I understand the question completely. And, we have high expectations out of that group. I mean, as you mentioned, I don't think you slid Bogey in there.
Yes, absolutely. We talked about him yesterday too. Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, I'm sure, and it's, offenses are tricky, man, because, you can have, and I don't want to ever alibi, I also want to create some realism about the challenges of hitting, but I don't also want to alibi it that, it's hard, we know it's okay. It's not our mentality. Our mentality is to compete and figure it out and get it done. And so, but we have had some, and again, injuries happen to every single club in this league. We've had a lot of these guys miss, and we've had some guys that, have not been as consistently good together. And, we've had guys that have been good. We recognize that. We've won games because of it. I do agree with Manny. I do feel like cumulatively, consistently, that the group of guys that you've mentioned are going to start to consistently have good at-bats and continue to do what we've done. I mean, right before the All-Star break, I felt that was happening. Right after the break in Washington, I felt like it was happening. We just, couldn't scratch enough consistently in Miami, but last night, posted 7 runs. So I do feel like it's really coming, in the last 3 weeks or so. And ultimately it's about the consistency of quality of the bat and what you're swinging at.
Yeah, no question. And with the at least the rumors of reinforcements on the way, potentially, right? Nobody knows what it takes 2 to tango, and you got to find the right deal that matches up for everybody. Maybe getting another bat in the lineup or another bench piece could help the offense turn around. We talked to Padres legend Greg Vaughn yesterday, Schulte, and he had come over from Milwaukee, had a bunch of bombs at the break, came over, new clubhouse, and he scuffled a little bit. So there's no guarantee of reinforcements coming in and pushing this offense to a top 10. But for you, what would you like to see? Maybe AJ Preller do at the deadline. What are you interested in?
I'm interested in the 26 guys we have in our clubhouse.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. We all have our jobs to do. AJ's excellent at his. We know. I have complete confidence in him. AJ's got, it's not as easy as the vacuum that we live in at the moment. It's a now, and it's a big picture, and it's a lot of different factors that, quite honestly, never having done the job, I don't even understand all of them. So I don't pretend to try. And so I've been given the real blessing of managing the club that we have, and I love the club that we have, and we're going to continue to get the most out of what we do have, and that's all we can do. And I'm excited about the group we have, and however it changes, if it changes, then so be it.
Such a good diplomatic answer, in my opinion. Very, very
It's
good.
true.
It's true. I get it.
It's so 2 weeks ago, right before the break, you were on, and I of course was on vacation, but I was listening as Woods was interviewing you, and I absolutely loved when you guys were talking about Jackson Merrill, and he was kind of going through his struggles, but was kind of near the end of it, and now we've seen him start to break out of it, and I just can't tell you how much you kind of made me. I love that kid already. Like, love him even more and what he brings to the team. What are you kind of seeing with Jackson now as he is starting to look a little bit more like the Jackson from earlier this season and last year as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's you should love it. I mean, I get the privilege to. Everybody gets to see how Jackson plays is basically who Jackson is. So people do get to, and people, fans are smart. They know, and they can tell if a guy's genuine with his play and his actions, and also his words. And Jackson's just that. He's a very authentic young man that has a deep care and a concern for competition and the team, and all those things. And so, whenever guys struggle similar to the offense, you realize it's just gonna happen. I mean, I always feel like, not to get too philosophical, but I always feel like, baseball is a microcosm of life. And, I don't know about your lives, but they're not always in a straight line. They can get messy and hard and challenging and frustrating. And, you go ups and downs, and ultimately it's how you handle all those different things, Jackson's had a great support system through it, but ultimately Jackson's the one that pulls himself up from his bootstraps and says, you know what, I'm going to keep moving forward, because he knows he's a good player. And that's not conceited. That's just an inner confidence that's real. And he knows that, we know that. So you just ride it out, sometimes you got to ride out life, and, that's what he did. And he got back to being, having some balls fall and getting back to his talent coming out. But, he's a real treasure to work with, and a blessing to manage.
I got one more for you, Mike, before we let you go. And, as the manager, the gig. You're going to get questions after the fact about decisions. And recently I've seen fans, I've seen reporters ask you, why did you pinch hit this guy versus that guy? And you said, I like the quality of his at-bats, even though they may not be resulting in hits. This is kind of the baseball 101 question for you. What do you describe as it? What are you looking for in a quality at bat without looking at the result, whether it's a home run or the guy may pop up to the catcher? When you see him go to the plate, what do you look for as a quality at bat?
First of all, I mean, the pitch hitting thing, it's fair. I mean, people, that's to open the conversation today about, managers and thoughts and all that. But, and that's the fun part, right? People get to have their opinions and thoughts. And so, it's a good thing. And pitch innings, I mean, it's not this easy thing to roll out and do. But we'll answer your question about quality of bat. Are you, and in simplest terms, are you ready to hit? Are you prepared to know what you're going to see? And are you getting a good pitch to hit? And are you aware of the situation? If you're aware of the situation, you know what you're going to see. You've got intent in what you're looking to do, and you get a good pitch to hit, and you put a good swing on it. That's all we can ask of you. That's after that, like Trenton Brooks, pinch hit. Pardon me. A couple of times, and he's actually barreled a ball and lined out, or hit a ground ball with, at 101 miles an hour. He's out, and you don't have a lot of at bats, and you look up and the numbers aren't great. And that can be frustrating for anybody, but that's all we can do, and so once that happens, that's all you can ask.
And conversely, I think you look at a guy like Luis Ariz, Skip, and I mean, just again, since he's come into the league, one of my favorite players to watch, and he'll sometimes swing at balls that probably make you want to pull your hair out, but he gets a knock on him. Sometimes he swings at balls that could have been ball four, and for you as a skipper with a guy like that that's won batting titles and clearly knows how to handle a bat, how much managing do you have to do of Luis Ariz, or is he one of those guys that has your complete trust and know that, well, obviously he's prepared. Obviously he can do it. He's got a track record. But when he does expand the zone and it maybe doesn't work out, how difficult is that for you?
Not very difficult at all. I mean,
I kind of figured that would be your answer. It's Luis Ariz at the end of the day.
I get it. This is the part that I think people underappreciate significantly about this game. So, and I understand the question. I get it. In a moment as we get caught up in competition and people get excited and somebody chases out of zone, regardless of who it is. And you go, I know what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's fair. That's the emotion coming out and that passion. And I love it. And that's good. People are invested. I tend to be able to take a step back, and of course I care and invested emotionally. But that guy's won 3 straight batting titles. What am I going to say to him?
That's what I want to know. Is do you even say a word to him?
But this is the point of, and again, I get the question completely, but this is the part where, to take a step back and try to be, even keel about it, that's scratching my head like, it's still not enough. The guy's won a batting titles. It's still like, why is he doing like, they're not machines, they're just not. And so if we try to do something about it, and you were the best in the league at getting hits and leading the league in batting average, which for me still matters, and you had your manager come up to you and be like, heavy at that, what would you do?
It's such a good point. It really is. And, I don't think people realize how easy it is to chase a pitch out of the zone at any level. And, for Luis, he's not where he's definitely wants to be, certainly, and where he's capable of being. But I mean, he's still Luis Ariz at the end of the day, and I think that's got to hold some weight. That's what I try to tell people too. The same thing is like there's certain guys that just get that trust to go out and do what they know how to do without much managing or tinkering with.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I mean, if there was something there that was there, I promise you we would have talked about it and addressed it. But we do our best, man.
Yep.
And you always keep the humanity in the game, and I appreciate that about you. You never forget that they're real people. We do as fans sometimes, obviously, as we're watching on TV. It just doesn't feel like that, and you're always good at expressing that, I think, to Padres fans, the humanity of this game. Always appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you again. Good luck the rest of this trip. We'll see you back at Petco Park.
Okay. Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy your day.
There he is, Mike Schilt, manager of the San Diego Padres. Our manager's report refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. All right, we can react to that, and we're going to give away some Padres Mets tickets coming up in our next segment. I didn't do it earlier. I promise I will do it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
7 Mile Casino. We're heading into the weekend. Great spot here in San Diego where you can get a great meal, have a great time playing cards, California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, baccarat, or pai gow in San Diego's most upscale, best card room setting.
Yeah, good place to go for lunch. Good place to go pre-game, post-game, whatever is your fancy. They'll take care of you there. They got California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, pai gow, baccarat, and they got delicious food, friendly dealers, in a smoke-free environment. Best part, just 7 minutes from downtown.
And no drive out to the East County. You stay right there on the coast. You hop on the 5 south toward Chula Vista, get off E, and then stay on the west side on Bay Boulevard within about half a mile. You're pulling right into the lot, walking straight in and enjoying yourself. Check out the weekend brunch tomorrow and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., where was voted best in the South County at Sammy's inside a 7 Mile Casino. Check it out today, anytime. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Wasn't sure how Mike Schilt would react to my question about the pinch hitting, but he leaned into it. He said, "Oh yeah, Trenton Brooks. Yeah,
You
I know
didn't
who you're
even
talking
mention
about." I didn't. I did not.
Very
I was trying to keep
trick.
it more open ended because I saw the. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but I saw in Kevin Acey's newsletter the little bit of a spicy back and forth that he said he had with the skipper when he asked him about. Yeah, you keep going to Trenton Brooks and he keeps not getting hits. Why do you keep going to him rather than like Bryce Johnson, who's hitting over 300 and has actually had some success? And Mike said, quality of at bat is what I'm looking for. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Like what do you exactly look for in a quality at bat? Because there are a lot of quality at bats that don't end up in hits. In a sport where Hall of Famers are successful 3 out of every 10 times, that they weren't just going up there and completely like not being focused and concentrating 7 out of 10 times. They probably, as a Hall of Famer, 98% of the time they were locked in at home plate, but they were still failing 70% of the time. So yeah, you can look at a guy and go, yeah, he had 6 straight at bats, didn't get a single hit in any of them, but I liked the quality of those at bats. And I wanted to know what that meant to Mike Schilt.
In a results-based business, it's got to be difficult, for the skipper to continue to go to. Now, again, he's a victim of circumstance. He can only play what he has. He's the hand he was dealt. So, you noticed last night, though, he didn't go to Trenton Brooks. He did not against a right-hander. He went to Jose Iglesias, and that didn't go well either. So, kind of up against it without, a little bit more talent, I would say, on the bench. And nothing against Trenton Brooks personally, man. I'm sure he's a great dude. He does look hitterish sometimes. I mean, he looks like he can hit the baseball, and it just hasn't worked out.
Tim says quality at bat hasn't Brooks popped out in foul territory. You actually can put together a quality at bat that ends in a pop out. If you're up there and ready to hit, maybe the only thing you did wrong is that you swung 1/4 of an inch lower than you thought. You were ready for that pitch. You put a good swing on it. You're just a little tiny bit off.
Yeah.
And that's, and you can have a bad at bat and be completely fooled.
Oh,
stick your butt out.
How about
throw the bat out?
How about Arenado last night? Now, again, some people will look at what Arenado did and he ass out but again, there's skill.
There's
in what
skill
he
in
did,
that,
right?
There's skill in it as well.
Not the most aesthetically.
But there's also a lot of luck on those kind of hits.
Not the most aesthetically pleasing, single for Nolan Arenado, but man, takes a pitch down and away, asses out, and just,
the pitcher kind of thinks, I won that battle.
100%.
That's what I'm trying to get him to do, and I will take my chances with that every time, but it doesn't mean you're always going to get him out. Just like when the hitter wins the battle, gets ahead in the count, gets like a fastball that he's looking for inside, and thinks he drills it, but got just under it, and it's a fly out 380 feet to the warning track. That's the hitter won that at bat, even though technically the pitcher got the out. Similarly, the pitcher kind of wins the at bat when he gets a guy to completely swing at a bad pitch off the zone with no power behind it. But it bloops in for a single or a double, and you go,
drives you crazy. Drives you crazy. I watched the thing with Barry Bonds recently, and it was mind blowing. And I went and showed it to my son after. So he said he changed his mentality about quarter of the way through his career, and he said enough. He said, enough is enough as it pertains to, he goes, I was able to compartmentalize me versus the pitcher, right? So when I go up there and I ground out to second base, I won. He didn't get me out. The second baseman got me out. He goes, I would eliminate everybody in the field. And I hit the ball. Like, you didn't get me. I got you. I put the wood on the baseball. And I went, oh my God. He takes every fielder out of there. And if I go up there with that mentality of like, you're not getting this past me. If you strike me out, you got me. You won. If I make contact with this and I hit this ball, I won that battle. And I went, all right, that's pretty amazing way to think of hitting. And yeah, man, it's, listen, different people have different philosophies, but it's a really frustrating game at the end of the day, a really frustrating game. And my sense when I asked him about Luis Ariz, I knew exactly what he was going to say. Exactly. What's Mike Schilt going to teach Luis Ariz about hitting? Right. And even he was like, what am I going to tell him?
I liked how he went.
Yeah, we need to pull that and save that forever, Paulie. That needs to be in some sort of montage. It's really, really good. It killed me because, it's just so funny to think about that. Like Schilt walking over going, hey, man, you got to lay off that pitch. Right. Like Luis Ariz is like, what? He said it. He goes, guys get late in games. They want to maybe do too much. You get a little bit over competitive, you expand the zone, all that stuff. So again, I knew the answer to that, but I wanted to hear him say it because
I understand Luis Ariz's mindset. At least I think I do. He knows if I swing, I'm going to make contact. I may foul it off and get another pitch that's even better. If I take it and I'm wrong and I leave it to the umpire, maybe it's close. I think it's a ball.
I get hosed.
But I leave it to the umpire. He may call me out. I know if I keep swinging, I've got a chance to get a hit because I'm not going to swing and miss because he almost never swings and misses.
Elisa says he's allergic to ball four. Yeah, there's a hitter's mentality that guy has, and I know it can be frustrating at times, more often than not. But man, when he is able to take that pitch, low and away and flip it, like we've seen so many great hitters do. That's.
Would he be a more valuable player if he remained a Luis Ariz, but simply decided instead of fouling off those pitches that are 3 inches off the zone that he takes them, yes, his on-base percentage would skyrocket, and all of a sudden he wouldn't just be a batting champion. He would be legitimately probably the best on-base guy in the league, but he wouldn't be Luis Ariz anymore. It would be a completely different mindset that he's going up there and not just, short swing. I can just foul off anything that I want.
Look, Skip's going to let these guys be who they are. He just is. And again, Adam says you can always learn no matter how much you know, no question. And I think I don't get the sense that Luis Ariz is not a student of hitting. I think if you asked him, do you expand the zone too much? He would say, yes, I do. I go outside the zone too much. I would like to be better at that. In fact, he said it going into the offseason. I'd like to walk more. It hasn't materialized, right? But I do think you get into that mode of like, I'm going to change who I am completely. That's when you can get in trouble. And we see it from our leadoff hitter a lot. Changes, tinkers, things like that. Luis Ariz, there's one thing you say about him. Guy doesn't tinker. He doesn't tinker a bit. Consistently consistent with his approach, and he lives and dies by it. So I know it's frustrating. I know it can be. I still think he's a very valuable part of this team. And, where you hit him, that's a different story altogether, but that's a story for another day.
We've been giving away tickets all week long. We've got one pair right now, last one this week for Padres Mets next Tuesday, July 29th. First 40,000 fans will receive a free Padres sandless beach towel. You can visit padres.com/giveaways for more details or be the seventh caller right now at 833-288-0973. Seventh caller wins, 833-288-0973. Good luck. Paulie will take some calls during the break, and then we will come back, wrap things up with the Reindl Report coming up next.
Potentially wild story in baseball that, if true, we're like, why isn't this the biggest story of the day?
Yeah.
I didn't believe it because it sounded so wild, but I mean, maybe it's true.
Let's hear it. Let's react.
Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Congratulations to Frank. Won the last pair of Padres Mets tickets for Sandless Beach Towel Night. Congratulations. Hopefully, if you haven't gotten your own tickets, you can go to Padres.com/tickets for the first homestand of the second half of the season beginning on Monday. And speaking of Monday, Woods is going to be traveling that day.
Yeah, travel day for me.
So you'll be off. But Paulie and I are going to be out at the 4th Annual Salute to Heroes Charity Golf Tournament that morning at Loma Santa Fe Country Club in Solana Beach. And it's not too late to sign up. If you want to get out there, you can register today at SanDiegoSocialLeagues.org. Golf, food, prizes, celebs, including Greg Vaughn, who we had on earlier this week, Arabian Prince from NWA, Olden Polynice, Zab Judah, if you're, 80s or 90s sports fan, you can meet some of those legends there. And I found out this morning from Paulie that you're actually not teeing off until 11, and we're going to be there at 6 a.m. So it's going to be probably pretty quiet for the first couple of hours at least of the program, but we'll be out. Should be a nice morning to be out and about, Paulie, and we'll have our normal, Craig Elston, Dennis Lynn, Padres wrap up for the weekend in St. Louis. So kind of a regular show for us for the most part. And then at the end, probably have a few of those celebs mingling in and coming and saying hello. But I'd love to see some tier ones out there. If you are signed up for the golf tournament, come say hi.
Yeah, come out and keep you guys company.
Yeah, exactly. You come out at 6 a.m. You can mingle with us in a quiet golf course at that point.
Somebody can just put them on. Just take my role for the day.
It's true.
Yeah.
Guest host for the day. It's possible.
Never know.
It's more your move.
That is more of a me move to just throw some rando on there.
Radio chaos.
Yeah, I like radio chaos. I do. It's fun.
All right. Before we go, we got a roundel report headlines from Paulie after one more Kelly Danick traffic report. She's been on one this morning on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple of problems wrapping up our morning drive. One is this collision on westbound 54 just before the 805. Everything's in the center divide. South 805, an accident right before 47th. It looks like several vehicles involved in this one. Trying to get that all moved over to the right shoulder. Might still be a vehicle or two in the left lanes. Also northbound 15, just before the King Freeway, reports of a stalled vehicle kind of between the two left lanes. Day 2 of Comic-Con, guys. Yeah, gas lamp, downtown area, going to get pretty crazy in a good way. Keep in mind, Harbor Drive is closed between 5th and First Avenues. This is right in front of the convention center for obvious reasons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest. Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Happy Friday, gentlemen.
Happy Friday, Paulie.
Let's start off in Major League Baseball. I got one sports story for you, and we teased it. So earlier this morning, we were talking about the Detroit Tigers. 10 out of 11, 10 losses in their last 11 games. Well, last night they lost to the Toronto Blue Jays, and on the mound for the Blue Jays was former Padre Eric Lauer. And if you were watching the game or if you saw any of it, you may have noticed that Eric Lauer had what looked like a pretty black and blue fat lip.
Yeah, fat lip.
And so after the game,
Stitches.
he's doing his post-game media availability. And of course, they asked him, like, hey, what happened? What's going on with your lip? I thought this was a joke. And he's talking pretty seriously to the point where I'm thinking maybe this actually happened. Here is what Eric Lauer said when asked about his purple busted lip.
So there's kind of this like known thing to not mess with Scherzer on his start days, especially when he has his headphones in. And I broke that rule.
No way.
I tried to talk to him a little too early. So, he wasn't very happy about that. And, 6 stitches is what you get for that.
There's no chance. 0, 0, 0, 0 chance.
I mean, if that was true, don't you have to suspend Max Scherzer immediately if you're the Blue Jays? Toronto reporter Mike Wilner, who was in that scrum, and Eric Lauer didn't clarify or anything.
He wasn't smiling and laughing.
Kind of was
so he walked away and he followed
notes.
him and he said, are we supposed to really believe Max Scherzer punched you in the face? And he said Eric Lauer flashed a wry smile and shrugged his shoulders.
Never know.
I mean, is Eric Lauer throwing Max Scherzer under the bus here too?
No chance. There's no chance.
Either Max Scherzer did it, or Eric Lauer is not being a good teammate here by leaving it just hanging in the air to the point that now a radio show in San Diego
is talking about.
Now, Max Scherzer is kind of insane.
Yes.
Which is,
that makes it just at least a little bit believable.
Correct. Which is not great for Max that we have to actually
ask the question.
If someone had said, Michael King was starting and
Darvish
talk to him and this is what I got for it. No, of course, no one would ever believe that. But with Max Scherzer, there's a tiny bit of you that believes it.
That's why he did it. That's why Eric Lauer did it. He probably tripped and fell and was like, no, I'm gonna do a bit here. He's just doing bits. They're having fun.
I think they play catch pregame. You're looking not the wrong way.
Glance off your glove,
a ball hits you in the face. It's
like
embarrassing for a baseball player. You don't want to say that I totally missed a ball that was coming right at me and hit me in the face. And this is what I got. But to throw Max Scherzer under the bus
and
is
just let it
choice.
Throw that out there and let it fester.
Let it
and now
bleed.
it becomes a story. You're like, what the hell is going on?
There's
over there?
headlines. The mystery behind Blue Jays starter Eric Lauer's fat lip. Was it actually a teammate? We got to write and talk about things. So there you go, Eric. That's what you get.
All right, that's it for sports today. We will move on to a very weird story. Now, we may have talked about this a couple of years ago because this man who was arrested by the Burbank Police Department up in LA, he's done this before, and he had a viral video that went around in 2023 of the exact same thing that he was arrested for this week. We're talking about this man, Khalees Karan Crowder, 38-year-old man who was arrested at a Walmart in Burbank. Well, he was arrested for...
Well, they call him the serial butt
sniffer.
He's a butt sniffer, which is something that your kids would call each other. Your butt sniffer.
Right. But it's
an
not
insult.
something you typically would call a grown-ass man who is walking around following women and
leaning down
doing that in public in front of everybody. Says here, officers were arrived. They were told that the suspect had already left the Walmart. He was located just a few minutes later at a parking lot right across the street from Walmart, so close.
looking for another butt to sniff, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So this
What's the charge? I mean, I don't think
says
this.
What do you mean, what's the charge?
I mean, like
lewd behavior.
Okay, lewd and lascivious behavior. I mean,
yes,
this can't be assault. You didn't assault anyone. You didn't touch them, but it is obviously
I
very.
think there's some gray area there. It's.
I mean,
very
where does inappropriate
invading.
and illegal? Like, where's the line between inappropriate and illegal?
Are you defending?
I'm not.
This serial. It
Serious.
sounds like you're
what's
defending the
This
serial.
would be a weird trial, don't you think? Like witnesses on the stand,
throwing the book at him, the literal book, throwing it at him.
Right.
Boom. You can't do this. It's very.
Says here he's currently in police custody as he awaits charges for loitering with intent to commit a crime.
I've always thought loitering. was
I was on a jury once, and it was a prostitution / loitering case. Loitering with intent to commit prostitution.
You're like, I haven't done anything.
I'm standing.
That
here.
was that was the defense. The lawyer said, I mean,
what do you do?
She was standing there, but she wasn't committing any crime. She was just loitering. I mean, she was scantily clad, and but they didn't have any actual evidence against her, so we found her not guilty.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. The loitering thing, you always see those signs when you're a kid, no loitering. It's like, what are you going to do? Arrest me? They're like, yeah, we will. We will arrest you for standing outside of a 7-Eleven loitering.
Well,
Such
he's
a
done this
BS charge,
before.
actually. But this guy,
the video from a couple of years ago was going around, and it was at a Barnes and Noble, and he kind of just was standing behind this woman in an aisle who's also checking out of books.
Yeah.
And he pretends he's like, get down on a knee, like, oh, I'm grabbing this book on the lower shelf, and it's ridiculously disturbing.
Somebody, Lisa just said, well, he'll have a butt buffet in jail. Plenty to choose from there. That's going to go over really well in there, too, when they hear about it.
Oh.
It's an immediate beatdown. I feel like what are you in for? I'm the serial butt sniffer.
The serial butt sniffer. How about this? From KTLA, they say the wife of former Lakers forward Robert Ory has also accused the same guy of stalking their teenage daughter more than a decade prior. She put on social media, he needs to be put away
Put him
for
away.
good.
Put
and
him away.
Would not disagree with that if that was
so.
true.
Yes, I want to clarify this for you. This isn't merely frowned upon. This is a real crime here. It's not just frowned upon.
I get that. No, I do get that. I just mean, like, from a legal sense, it just seems like it's a complex case.
If you were on, there's video. So if you're on the jury, you have to convict because
if
there's video evidence.
yeah. So I was thinking, if this is all just like witness testimony and you're sitting there and the defense is trying to poke holes in the case, I mean, we all have to, we're all walking around. It's crowded. People are, I could see where the defense would be trying to. But if there's video, I think that's going to sway a jury.
I think this guy might be in trouble.
I think he's
Okay.
toast. He's on parole for other things too, so he's
Right.
got
He's got a
violations. There's a
long
long
list
rap sheet.
of
Society's better served without this guy in it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree.
All right.
And then finally, Florida man was Florida manning pretty hard yesterday. We go to Tallahassee, where Chuck E. Cheese was arrested
I saw this.
and taken away in handcuffs in what I think was. It provided one of the funniest pictures maybe I've ever seen of Chuck E. Cheese, the mascot, in full attire,
full gear,
being escorted out of a restaurant by police while children stand by and go, what is happening?
And I saw this. He was accused of credit card fraud.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have questions again. Legal-minded Ben. They arrested him, but he was still in the costume. How did they know that it was him?
Because they knew where he worked. They know his shift.
But they didn't have to take off the costume before they arrested him. Like Scooby.
They did that outside.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that was it more traumatizing for the kids?
Scooby too.
There's a picture of the cop walking. The cop, by the way, looks just like Adam. The cop is walking him away, and he's still in cuffs, and he still has the head on. So I'm sure they took it off. He didn't have to
They did
ride
it out
to
of the car,
He
yeah.
didn't have to ride to the station. Can you take this off? Can you take this off, please? It's very warm. I realize what I did was wrong.
If I'm a
Please take
cop,
this
I've
off.
always wanted the Scooby-Doo moment, like, and the culprit is
Adam Klug, credit card fraud.
And remember the episodes
Dude.
where they actually would wear two masks? They pull the mask off, and it would
Yeah.
be someone, and then that would be the red herring. And then,
Yes.
wait, hold on, it's really this
It's
person.
unbelievable.
Like, who would ever wear two masks at the same time?
They got the thing sitting on the top of the head, sitting on top of the police car, and they're like, "This guy's like, oh."
It was
man.
7:30 p.m. when he was arrested. Local time there in Tallahassee. The police officer wrote in the report, "I grabbed his right arm while giving the verbal instruction, Chucky, come with me, Chucky.
Chucky, come with me, Chucky."
They said he was resisting arrest, started to tense up, so that's why they cuffed him and dragged him out of there. Hello.
Happy
Friday.
Hey, rock and roll. Thank you, gentlemen. Talk to you on Tuesday.
All right, have a
Hey,
safe
have fun.
flight.
Mahalo.
Good
Yeah,
luck at
aloha.
your Tier 1 game on Sunday.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll have some Padres wins to talk about on Monday morning. That's it for us. Braden is coming up next. Padres baseball, 3:15 pregame show today for Paulie, for Woods. I'm Ben. Have a great rest of your Friday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.